On my mind, got my money in my mind, right? Money on my mind, got no time for that limelight. I'm from California, man, I guess we'll start with that. Banged out starter caps, glued to the cul-de-sac. Look. Money on my mind, got my money in my mind, right? Money on my mind, got no time for that limelight. I'm from California, man, I guess we'll start with that. Banged out starter caps, glued to
Yo, what up? What up? What up, man? We back. Yeah. Welcome to the remix with Cali Dre, man. Cali Dre in the motherfucking building, man. I don't know what's up with my intro, man. Y'all let me know in the comments, man, that the intro played through all the way. Cause man, it's been up and down with this motherfucking intro. You feel me? But man, we back in a major way. We back in a major way, man. You know what I mean? A lot of things I want to cover today, man. A lot of stuff I want to cover, man. So sit back, man, roll up, pull up. You know what I mean? Y'all know I had to pull up today, man. Y'all know that your boy had to pull up today, man, with all of this Epstein news going on. You know what I'm saying? You know, TikTok MAGA mind grows. You know, I had to pull up today, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this the remix with Cali Dre, man. I'm live right now on YouTube, on Twitch, on Instagram. Salute to everybody, man. Appreciate everybody for rocking with me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get them likes up, get them hypes up on YouTube. Hype your boy up, man. Hype your boy up, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna bring y'all that real, man. I'm about to knock your motherfucking socks off in this bitch, man. So get them likes up, man. Fall in love with that motherfucking Cash App, man, and get the comments going. Cause yeah, I expect that we're gonna have a lot to say about this whole situation, man. So man, we're gonna get right to it, man, because that's the only way I really know how to do it. You know what I mean? Where we want to go with this, man. So I'm gonna start this, man, with a story out of California. You know what I'm saying? Los Angeles. A guy by the name of Indian Redboy from out here in LA was unalived in Hawthorne. And we're going to check in with this story, man, because it looks like there's been a sentencing that happened on this case. And so I want to check in with this, man, and we're gonna run this and we're gonna start here, man. Oh, trust me. We're gonna get to this Epstein shit for sure, man. But you know what I'm saying? I want to tap in with this story right here, man. Fresh out of California, Indian Redboy killer Capone 5 sentence. And we're gonna check in with this, man. This is the remix with Cali Dre. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. Let's get right to it. You know what I mean?
Damn about that, fool.
Now to breaking news, a homicide investigation underway right now in Hawthorne.
Let's go to Desmond Shaw in Sky 9 with the latest.
Jeff and Susie, we're off of Chandran Avenue in the...
Get the lights up. Look like this video I ain't trying to play, man. That's fine. Hey, look, this was just like an intro lead up video anyway, kind of explaining the story, man. Indian Redboy passed away after he was shot in his car in Hawthorne. So this video is kind of detailing that. And if this motherfucker play through, we gonna see, man. You know what I mean? Geek Squad, tap in with your boy. This why I'll be trusting that AI shit, bro. They can't even get the motherfucking internet the way it's supposed to be, bro. Like, what the fuck is going on, man? Get the likes up. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. We tapping in with this Indian
Sky
Redboy.
9 with the latest.
Here we go. We back.
Jeff and Susie, we're off of Chandran Avenue in the city of Hawthorne, and you can see Hawthorne PD. They are wrapping up their investigation. They're still taking some photographs. We watched the coroner just wheel the body away. It is a male in his 20s that was shot and killed. Inside this car, there are a lot of bullet holes inside that windshield. We zoomed in earlier.
What up, gang? I'm back with another one. This video right here is about your boy, Indian Redboy. If you don't know, Indian Redboy went viral for disrespecting Nip, man. When Nip passed, he disrespected Nip more, which is a painting on the wall of Nipsey Hussle. And this is allegedly, I haven't seen the video. I was looking for the video of him actually doing it. I know, if I'm not mistaken, I seen a picture a while back with him standing in front of the picture while it was like X'd out and wrote all over. You know what I'm saying? So
this Indian Redboy right here,
because I haven't seen him.
This is Indian Redboy right here. We shot in Hawthorne, you know what I mean, about a few years back, but it looks like there was a sentencing in this case, man. So I want to give y'all a little bit of this backstory, and then we're going to get to the main story on this.
Did it with my own eyes, but I went on his page. I looked in his little stories and stuff. He does have several videos saying F Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? He was a blood, so that plays a big part. Nipsey was a Crip. You know what I'm saying? Listen, he was killed on live today, man. He was killed while talking to his friend on live.
Yeah, so this is the story of Indian Redboy.
It sounded like their conversation. He was telling his friend, what would you do? Like the video that's going around of the piece of the live is only towards the end when he got shot.
Right.
So the conversation is saying, all you can hear is he telling his friend, what would you do if you get caught with it?
Right.
If you get caught without it on you.
Right. And it's funny, man. It's funny. That was the conversation that they was actually having during that live where Indian Redboy got shot. And they was talking about, you know, getting caught without it. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, he was unalived in Hawthorne a few years back. So it looks like there's been an update in this case, man. So I want to bring you guys this update, and then we're going to get to this motherfucking politics, man. Please believe, because, hey, listen. Oh, boy, y'all know I had to get on this motherfucker today, man. But I want to tap in with this story real quick, man, because it's out of California. I want to definitely, you know what I'm saying, shed some light on it. So we're going to check in with this, man. But there has been a break in the Indian Redboy case. Looks like somebody was sentenced in this case. And so we're going to check in with it, man, and just see what's going on here, man. It's the remix with Cali Dre, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy, man. Let's go.
Got nothing on you right now. What would you do, fool? Damn about that, fool. I got feed.
So right there, that's the moment. And I think they edited out the rest of the video, but that's the moment. Him and his friend Indian Redboy on live with his boy. He's sitting in the car, chilling in Hawthorne, and him and his boy having a conversation about you know, being lacking basically, you know what I mean, and not having it on you when you're supposed to have it on you. And at that very moment, man, shots rang out, you know what I mean? And Indian Redboy ended up losing his life in this incident.
Peace.
Rest in peace to Indian Redboy, and prayers to his family as well. I want to get that out there as well, man.
What the
This is Indian Redboy. A few years back. The twist on this story is very interesting because a lot of people thought, and still do think, that he was unalive due to defacing Nipsey Hussle's mural, right? And so that's what became a big story. And you know, interestingly enough, you know, it happened to be some you know, some people from the other side, not necessarily Nipsey's hood, but some people, you know, from that side of the tracks that ended up taking Indian Redboy's life, man. So it's been an update in this case, man, and I wanted to bring this to y'all. This the remix with Cali Dre, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me.
news. A homicide investigation underway right now in Hawthorne.
We watched the coroner just wheel the body away. It is a male in his 20s that was shot and killed. Inside this car, there are a lot of bullet holes inside that windshield.
Yeah, so this is the scene right here. This is the scene where it all played out. And yeah, the entire situation was caught online. They probably have since removed those videos, but initially the entire play had run out on live, man, and it was viewed by a lot of people, man, and it was very unfortunate situation. I wouldn't even show it on here. They probably kicked my ass off this shit, but it was that graphic and that tragic, man. So rest in peace to Indian Redboy, man, and you know we're gonna get to some of this news about this case, man.
In today's video, we're going to be talking about Capone 5, aka Infant Capone from the Rolling Hundreds.
Okay, so this is Infant Capone, aka Capone 5 from Rolling Hundreds, who was allegedly said to be the main player in taking out Indian Redboy.
We're going to cover everything, like how he would be arrested and sentenced for the murder of Indian Redboy, to how he would still catch more cases while in the county jail. And we're also going to break down how his two co-defendants would be from 5-5 neighborhood and they would take the stand on him. But let's dive into it. And like we said,
right, so that's very important, man. So Nip was from I believe the Rolling. I'm not a listen, I'm not an expert on what's going on that side of the tracks by no means, but I believe that they a neighborhood set as well. And so to hear that, you know, some neighborhood members was involved in this, I think is very interesting.
That Infant Capone, aka Capone number 5, would be from the Rolling Hundreds, aka the Westmont district. And as a kid, he would be in and out of juveniles and YAs, but we're going to start off with his first adult case. And his first adult arrest would happen on November.
So this is Capone 5, who was responsible for the Indian Redboy killing. There was a sentencing in this case. So we're going to get to a little bit of this breakdown before we get onto these politics. You know what I'm saying? This is the remix with Cali Dre, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me.
26th of 2020, and he was arrested at the age of 18. And he would be arrested and charged for 1 count of evading police, 1 count of carrying a concealed weapon in a vehicle, and 1 count of unlawful firearm activity. He would then have to sit in the county jail for about 4 months fighting this case, but on March 25th of 2021, they would allow him to post a $35,000 bail. He would then be able to fight this case from the streets for the next 5 months, but on August 30th of 2021, he would take a plea deal on this case, and he would plead no contest to count 1, which is evading police, and he would have the other 2 counts dismissed. And on that day of August 30th of 2021, they would give him 3 years of probation. He would then be a free man for a little over 3 months, but on December 14th of 2021, he would be arrested again, and this time it would be for a major case. And on this case, him and 2 others would be arrested for 1 count of murder, and he would be charged with possession of a firearm by a felon. But as you can see to the right, the offense dates July 8th of 2021, which would be a whole 5 months before he was even arrested. And on that day of July 8th of 2021, somebody named Zarel Rivera, who was 21 years old, was shot and killed in Hawthorne. And Zarel Rivera would actually be Indian Redboy. And on that day...
Right. So on that day, Indian Redboy was killed. And so he's going through the connection right now of how Infant Capone, aka Capone 5 from Rolling Hundreds, was allegedly involved.
On July 8th of 2021, police would respond to a call of a shooting at 4:10 in the afternoon. The shooting happened on Chandran Avenue, and when police responded, they would find a 21-year-old male slumped in the front seat of a vehicle. He was shot multiple times, and he was pronounced dead on the scene. And this whole thing would be recorded on Instagram Live, while Indian Redboy was on Instagram Live with baby Capone from Inglewood Families. And it's ironic that his killer would actually have the same moniker as Capone. But
right. I mean, that is a little bit of irony right there. You know what I mean? We got a Capone from Inglewood Families, and you know, the guy that was ended up responsible for taking him out was Capone, man. So you know, I don't know what that means in the irony of gangland, but shit. You know what I mean? It definitely stands out, man. This the remix with Cali Dre. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. We just going through this Indian Redboy situation, man, getting the update on this case. And then, yeah. We going to jump on these politics. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why y'all tuned in anyway, man. Them Epstein files drop, and we going to go right through that shit, man. But yeah, let's get to this a little bit. This the remix with Cali Dre, man. Let's go.
Like we said, the murder happened on July 8th of 2021. And don't forget that Infant Capone from the Rolling Hundreds actually bailed out on March 25th of 2021. So he was actually out on a $35,000 bail while here. And like we said, Infant Capone from the Rolling Hundreds wasn't arrested until 5 months after the murder in December. And this right here would be why. Like we said, there would be 3 people on this case, and 2 of them would be from 5-5 neighborhood Crip. And they would both be arrested on October 27th of 2021. which was 2 months before Infant Capone would even be arrested or be a suspect in this case. And at first, it would only be the two members of 5-5 neighborhood that was arrested for the murder. And they would both end up cooperating with police and telling them exactly what happened. The first co-defendant would tell police that he lived nearby to where the shooting happened. And they would pretty much tell detectives that they had no clue the shooting was going to take place. And they would both blame the whole thing on Capone 5, aka Infant Capone from the Rolling Hundreds.
Right. So out of the three co-defendants, or out of the three, I guess, defendants, two of the co-defendants ended up taking plea bargains. And so he's breaking that part down right now. And the role that Capone 5 played in this case.
They would all then have to sit in the county jail while fighting this case for the next 3 years. But on February 6th of 2024, the first co-defendant would take a plea deal on this case. And since he gave a statement and testified, they would reduce the murder to assaulting a person with a semi-automatic firearm. And as you can see, the murder would say dismissed due to plea negotiation. But as you can see, the date would say November 8th of 2024, which would be 9 months after he took this plea deal. But that's because on November 8th of 2024 is the day that Capone 5 would start trial. So pretty much they would dismiss the murder as long as he testified on that day. And the second co-defendant would take his plea deal on October 30th of 2024, and he would have the murder reduced to assaulting a person with a semi-automatic firearm also. And like we said, he would also give a statement and testify on Infant Capone from Rolling Hundreds. And as for...
Yeah, man. So I want to pause the video right there, man. This is a PSA to all my young homies, man, and young homies across the nation. You feel me? Everybody tough, man, until they get you in that box, man. You know what I'm saying? And start asking you them questions and piecing together what the fuck you've been doing for the last 48 to 72 hours. So be smart out there, my niggas. Be smart. You know what I mean? Because a lot of this shit ain't worth it, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit you think in the moment might be worth it. It ain't worth it, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? And this is an example of why that's the case.
Capone number 5 from the Rolling Hundreds, he would be convicted by a jury. And
we got a total of 4 lives affected and ruined, and 4 families. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be affected by this forever, man. So cut out the bullshit, man.
To 6 years in state prison. But as you can see at the bottom, he would have 2,217 days of total credit, which would be exactly 6 years. So on that day of November 8th of 2024, the first co-defendant would be a free man. And as for the second co-defendant, he would be sentenced on November 20th of 2024, and they would give him 6 years in state prison also. But as you can see at the bottom, he would have 1,288 days of total credit, which would be 3.5 years. And as for Infant Capone from the Rolling Hundreds, while he was waiting to be sentenced, he would catch a few new cases while in the county jail. On March 18th of
So that let me know Capone 5 is really with this shit. He really active out here in these streets, man, and it don't look like he playing no games, because out of all the 3 defendants that is charged for this case, I didn't hear about him taking no kind of deal. And so, he's standing on what he's standing on, obviously, man, and it's an unfortunate situation. But I definitely want to give y'all the update on this case, man. This the remix with Kelly Dre, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking.
2025, they would arrest him for a riot that happened in the county jail. And they would charge him with 1 count of battery by gassing a CO, 1 count of using force or violence in a county jail, and 1 count of concealing a dagger. And don't forget, he was already found guilty on the murder, so I'm sure this case didn't affect him much. But now he would be fighting this case, and he would still be waiting to be sentenced for the murder. And 9 months after being found guilty, they would sentence him to 29 years to life on August 22nd of 2025.
Okay, so he ended up getting 29 years to life. As you can see here, if you look at some of these other guys, I think it says that, they were getting a lot of credit for time served based on the deals that they took. But as you can see here, he's getting 29 of them things, man. And it ain't looking like he's taking no kind of deals. Probation denied, felony, term duration 25 year to life, credit for time served 1,348 days. So that's what, it's about 5 years, I think, something like that, close to 4 or 5 years. But yeah, we just tapping in with this, man. I'm gonna kind of get through this because yeah, we got a lot of politics to break down today, man. That's the remix with Kelly Drake, man. Let's go.
On August 22nd of 2025. As you can see, 25 years to life for the actual crime, plus 4 years consecutive to count 1 for enhancements. And as for count 2, the felon in possession of a firearm, they would give him 2 years to run concurrent with count 1. And just 6 days after being found guilty, they would dismiss the case of the riot in the county jail. And they would dismiss every single count on August 28th of 2025. However, just 3 days later, on September 1st of 2025, he would be arrested again for a whole new case. And they would charge him with 1 count of custodial possession of a weapon. But after just 2 months, they would dismiss this case due to lack of a speedy trial on November 14th of 2025. So as of right now, Infant Capone, aka Capone 5 from the Rolling Hundreds, is serving a 29-year to life sentence for the murder of Indian Redboy. And that right there is going to wrap it up for this story. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. But comment.
All right, so yeah, that wraps that up, man. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So there has been a sentencing in the case, 2 plea deals, 1 29-year sentence. And looks like Infant Capone, aka Capone 5 from the Rolling Hundreds, is gonna take that charge all the way, man. So it's a sad situation, man. When this shit broke, I was like, wow, this, you know, the California was turned up, LA was turned up, and it's just one of them situations, man, where, you know, we gotta have more respect out here in the streets for each other, man, because when things get disrespected, you know, people take that shit personally, man. And so, you know, just keep that in mind, man. But we're gonna move this shit right along, man, because yeah. It's time, man. It's about that time, man. So as y'all know, it's been a bunch of files that have been released by the government regarding Jeffrey Epstein. And now we're gonna get a lot more clarity on a lot of things that's been going on with this situation, man. So where do I want to go with this first, man? Because I got a few videos I want to share, and I appreciate y'all for rocking, man. This is the remix with Kelly Dre, and we're gonna bounce around to a few different places here, man, because I want to really get to the bottom of what was found. There's been millions of documents released, and for what I'm hearing, there's still millions more that haven't been released. So yeah, let's dig into this a little bit, man. Where we gonna go with this first? Where we want to go with this first? It's just so much shit. I'm just like, man. I woke up and my shit was like, ping, ping, pinging, Epstein, Trump, all kind of crazy ass shit. So yeah, let's go here, man. Let's go here. Let's look at this real quick. See what's going on, man. It's the remix with Kelly Dre. I'm gonna bring y'all this real deal spiel, man, because it don't seem like nobody else doing that shit, man. But we gonna get to the bottom of this shit, man. Yeah, I mean, let's go.
Don't fall for the Trump regime's smoke and mirrors and sleight of hand when they claim they've produced all of the Epstein files on Friday. Sure, they produced about 3 million documents, but 3 million more documents are still missing, are still being concealed. And it's my view that the Trump regime is withholding those 3 million documents, which I think are the most significant and damning documents. They're withholding them, in my view, on the basis of phony privilege claims, making claims of things called deliberative process privilege, attorney-client privilege, work product privilege, executive privilege. In a previous filing before 2 federal judges earlier this week, Federal Judge Engelmeyer and Federal Judge Berman, Trump's DOJ previewed that they would be withholding documents and records. They stated that at some later date, they didn't give the date at the time, they said they would be producing the Epstein files and records, but they said, pursuant to the Epstein Transparency Act, we will be withholding certain documents on the basis of privilege claims. Now, the Epstein Transparency Act does not permit the Trump DOJ to withhold documents and evidence on the basis of privilege claims.
Okay. Okay, I want to stop it right there. And actually, we're going to double back to this. We're going to double back to this video because I want y'all to just keep that information in your back pocket. You know what I mean? Keep that information right there that we just heard in your back pocket. And I promise y'all, man, it's going to be a lot more valuable when you hear the documents that they have received, right? So if he's saying that the ones they've withheld due to a lot of these privilege claims are even more explosive than what we already have, you know what I mean? Like, shit, how much more explosive could it get? Well, we're about to fucking find out. This is the remix with Kelly Drake, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. I'm gonna cue this video up right here, and we're gonna get into some of these allegations and some of these, should have been charges at the time. I don't know why the fuck it wasn't charges, but for right now, allegations, reporting, FBI reports. That's a lot of what has been released, and so let's go through some of this, man, and see what it looked like. Keep that information we just heard in the back of your head, though. 3 million more outstanding documents estimated to be out there, and they're probably the more damning ones, even more damning than some of these allegations we're about to hear right now.
Certain communications with the White House. Let me just be clear. They had nothing to do with this review. They had no oversight over this review. They did not tell this department how to do our review, what to look for, what to redact, what to not redact. There's this mantra out there that, the Department of Justice is supposed to protect Donald J. Trump. And that's what we were telling. That's not true. That was never the case. We are always concerned about the victims. We did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody.
Sure, Jan. Anyway, they would have you believe that this entire thing, the release of the new documents today, in which the DOJ released about 3 million additional documents, files, pictures, videos having to do with Jeffrey Epstein, and this entire endeavor that stretched for almost a year now had nothing to do with protecting Donald Trump, when that has obviously been the mission statement from the beginning. And so we got a bunch of documents. That's the good news. There is some good news here. There's also bad news. First of all, they didn't release all of the documents. They've redacted documents that they weren't supposed to. They were supposed to provide explanations for redactions that did exist, and they didn't do that. And perhaps the worst news, morally at least, is that some of the documents released include absolutely horrific allegations against Donald Trump. But interestingly, after people found them, the DOJ temporarily deleted those files, then perhaps realized that doesn't actually work on the internet. People had already downloaded.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. So I've heard from several different outlets that there's about 500 lawyers working for the administration just on this document redaction alone. So you taxpayers, you're paying for 500 lawyers, bro, to redact all this shit. You're paying. This is the funny part about this whole shit. You, the taxpayer, are paying for 500 lawyers for them to redact some shit that we paid a judge to say that all of the files had to be released. Do y'all see like the crisscross of the bullshit that's going on right now? Let me say that one more time. The taxpayer is paying for 500 lawyers to redact these Epstein files. And we're also paying the judge that said, we got to release everything in the Epstein file. That's how I be thinking about this shit, man. This is the remix with Kelly Drake. Let's continue this because let's go. We got some shit to look at today.
Loaded them, and so they re-uploaded them. And we're gonna discuss, but Cenk, what are your 2 cents?
First of all, wait till you get a load of the allegations against Donald Trump. Are they really true with a 13-year-old? Oof. So then there's allegations against Bill Gates. And then that's not just about Bill Gates. That's about Jeffrey Epstein's MO. How does he work and why is he doing what he's doing? Let alone the revelations about Israel, of course. So there's a lot more to this. Let's give you all the facts and then figure out, are we ever going to get anyone who actually did it?
Yeah. And remember, Ghislaine Maxwell revealed earlier this week.
Listen, what I try to do, man, is I try to look at like enough of the video so where I know what it's talking about, but I try not to look at the whole video because I want to give y'all like a live reaction, right? And so I think that was a great fucking question, bro. Is anybody ever gonna be guilty for doing this shit? Get the likes up, man.
These documents from her revealed that there were other clients There were other men, dozens of them, who got these sweetheart deals, and well, we're told there's no client list. In any event, we've got a list of more than a dozen horrific allegations. We're not gonna cover all of them, but they are available online if you want. They were included in emails that were sent by officials in the FBI's New York field office on the Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force. Now, bear in mind that these, in some cases, have been investigated by the FBI to varying levels, but all of them are claims that were made against him. They're not the original result of FBI reporting, and so we cannot say with any certainty whether they're actually true, and I doubt we will ever be able to because the DOJ is not actually investigating.
Salute to flip mode action. Yeah, wow. Why? Let me put that back up on the screen. Wow, you know what I'm saying? Like this shit is unbelievable. You know what I mean? This is unbelievable. But we got a release of I guess a couple million documents, and there's still about 3 million more that are outstanding that are supposed to be even more explosive than these allegations and FBI reports and accounts that we're looking at and listening to right now, man. You can't make this shit up for sure, man.
Investigating any of these claims with anything approaching a serious approach. But that said, they do contain graphic, disgusting descriptions of sexual assault, so bear that in mind. There was one complaint made by a friend of the alleged.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I want to throw the disclaimer out there real quick. Viewer discretion is advised. Explicit sticker, all that shit to let you know kids probably shouldn't be listening to this because this is pretty traumatizing, man. If these allegations are true, MAGA, TikTok MAGA mongrels, oh yeah, oh yeah. I got something for you motherfuckers too, man. When let's get back to this, bro. I'm getting off track. This is the remix with Kelly Drake, man. Let's go.
Victim. In it, the president was accused of forcing a teenage girl to perform oral sex on him. The quote says, redacted reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral sex.
Wait, what? What? No way. There's no way. Here, I got it. We got to double back on that.
The quote says, redacted reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral sex. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said that she was also abused by Epstein. 35 years ago would put this in the range of when they were, best friends and party buddies, doing what.
There we go. Because that's a common thing that I get from a lot of the right-leaning, MAGA supporting, angry commenters that be hitting me on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? They try to make it seem like Trump and Epstein's relationship was not that long, or it was only a couple of years. But no, from what we understand, it was a 10+ year relationship. Multiple pictures of them being at multiple different locations, and so I think we can put that myth to bed. Let's hope.
They're doing. In the response column of the document for this particular one, it says that an investigator was sent to Washington to conduct an interview. And I guess I'd love to know what you found out from the interview, but again, this is not a serious thing the DOJ is doing. They're not gonna explain any of this. Another complaint alleged that Trump hosted calendar girls parties at Mar-a-Lago that involved genital measurements for children who were brought by Jeffrey Epstein. This is obviously a different sort of genital inspection than Republicans are now advocating for in women's sports on a regular basis. This is something far more sinister and explicitly sexual. At this party allegedly were Elon Musk, Eric, Ivanka, and Donald Trump Jr., Alan Dershowitz supposedly as well, and the claimant claimed that we were taken in rooms, forced to give oral sex to Donald J. Trump, forced to allow them to penetrate us. I was 13 years old when Donald J. Trump raped me.
Oh, wow, wait a minute. Here, wow. This shit is explosive right here, bro. Like, if these allegations are true, this entire family, it's not just Donald J. Trump. And a matter of fact, let's go back and let's listen to some of the names that were just mentioned that were involved in this specific allegation.
I guess I'd love to know what you found out from the interview, but again, this is not a serious thing the DOJ is doing. They're not going to explain any of this. Another complaint alleged that Trump hosted calendar girls parties at Mar-a-Lago that involved genital measurements for children who were brought by Jeffrey Epstein. This is obviously a different sort of genital inspection than Republicans are now advocating for in women's sports on a regular basis. This is something far more sinister and explicitly sexual. At this party, allegedly were Elon Musk, Eric, Ivanka, and Donald Trump Jr., Alan Dershowitz supposedly as well, and the claimant claimed that we were taken in rooms, forced to give oral sex to Donald J. Trump, forced to allow them to penetrate us. I was 13 years old when Donald J. Trump raped me. Ghislaine Maxwell was also present.
Explosive allegations, man. Explosive allegations in this new batch of Epstein files, man. I just want to hear the names one more time, man, so that we can get exactly the alleged participants in this heinous crime.
Taken in rooms, forced to give oral sex to Donald J. Trump, forced far more sinister and explicitly sexual. At this party, allegedly were Elon Musk, Eric, Ivanka, and Donald Trump Jr., Alan Dershowitz supposedly as well, and the claimant claimed that we were
okay. So we got the Trump kids, we got Elon Musk, and we got Trump. Wow. Wow. This is why I stand on what I stand on. You know what I'm saying? Because there's too many of these types of allegations running around out there. And again, anybody can make an accusation or anything like that, right? But a lot of this is FBI, like FBI reports of people who went to the FBI and spoke to the FBI. And so for me, although it's still an accusation, I'm going to look at it a little bit more seriously because someone actually took the step to go to the FBI to actually make this report, right? And the feds aren't fucking around. Like, you false report with them, they'll slam your ass in jail. And that's that's a fact. I think everybody kind of knows that. You may be able to dick around with your local police authorities, you know what I mean? But when you start telling lies and making up stories to the feds, that is a little bit more serious. So just keep that in mind, man, when we listen to some of this reporting and where the actual sources are coming from. Because again, on my show, and what I try to do is I try to give good information. And in order to find out if something is good information or not, you have to understand where the source is coming from. You know what I mean? And is it a credible source?
We were taken in rooms, forced to give oral sex to Donald J. Trump, forced to allow them to penetrate us. I was 13 years old when Donald J. Trump raped me. Ghislaine Maxwell was also present. There's a lot here, Jank. Claims of a
and again, these are allegations. So allegations and FBI reports. No one has been charged in any of this. I can say I don't know why, but living in this country and seeing some of the things that I've seen in this world, I got a pretty good idea of why. But let's see what else we got in this video.
Sex trafficking ring at the Trump golf course in Rancho Palos Verdes between 1995 and 1996, saying that Ghislaine Maxwell was involved in that. There's a claim against the former host of Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, Robin Leach, having supposedly strangled a girl, and then violent threats made against the
say it ain't motherfucking so, bruh. Not my Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Oh, come on, bruh. He out here, bruh. He out here down bad, bruh. Come on, bro. Robin motherfucking Leach out here strangling. Come on, you cannot make this shit up, bro.
Was involved in that. There's a claim against the former host of Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, Robin Leach, having supposedly strangled a girl, and then violent threats made against the victims that they would be murdered if they ever told anyone about it.
What?
And there's
Robin Leach was a gangster. Robin Leach was a motherfucking gangster, bro. He out here threatening motherfuckers and come on, Robin Leach, I'm gonna go find a video for y'all of Robin Leach, bro. I don't know if y'all remember Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, bro, but just picture, if you do, picture Robin Leach old ass and listen to this accusation right here, Brad, because I'm having a hard time believing this one. I mean, but shit, you never know what motherfuckers do behind closed doors. But damn, Robin motherfucking Leach, Brad.
The rich and famous Robin Leach having supposedly strangled a girl, and then violent threats made against the victims that they would be murdered if they ever told anyone about it. And that one was labeled not credible by the FBI, which is interesting.
Okay.
Because not all of the others were labeled not credible.
Okay.
So
all right. Okay.
What are we supposed to do?
Robin Leach may not have done that accusation. Okay. All right. Because hey, you got to dig into some of this shit, man. And that's what, I think everybody is attempting to do is figure out what's factual and what isn't factual. So, Robin Leach, your ass in the clear for right now, motherfucker. But we get some more of these reports coming out about your ass. Yeah. We gonna have your ass on this motherfucking show too, bro. Hey, get the likes up, man. Get the hypes up for sure, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy, man. We just going through some of this Epstein shit, figuring out what's what, man.
This, Cenk.
Yeah, there's varying levels of credibility, and a lot of them they thought this is total junk, and they didn't bother to investigate it. But the one about Trump being with a 13-year-old, they did investigate, and that was in August of 25, just last year. So I don't know if that's an active investigation because Blanche said that they did redact some material or did not include some material of active investigations. Didn't know they had any active investigations.
Okay, so let's break that down for a minute. So he's asking the question of, in the case of the 13-year-old, is this an active investigation? Because he's saying that they did open an investigation. But what he also said was that things that were an active investigation weren't included in this, unless I heard that wrong. Here, let me double that back because that's actually an important thing right there. Let me double that back.
That they did redact some material or did not include some material of active investigations. Didn't know they had any active investigations because a couple months ago they said that there were no other clients.
Well, and remember that.
Okay, see, so yeah, that's where. That's the spin that I'll be talking about. That's the spin that I'll be talking about. You see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we for sure did open an investigation. There's questions as to, is that investigation still going on? And then in this latest release of Epstein files, there are no active investigations included. Okay. Why? And this goes back to the question I always be asking, man. Why? You feel me? Like, because here's why I asked that question. The act or the ruling that said that all of the Epstein files had to be released, there wasn't any excuses around that. There wasn't any privilege included. There wasn't any any kind of discretion that was supposed to be given. It was supposed to be 3 simple letters, ALL, all. And so if you think about these, they're just piece, letting information out piece by piece, 1 million here, 2 million. I mean, listen, the fact that there are 6 or 7 million or 8 million, millions and millions of Epstein documents in the first place is and again, just how my man said in the video earlier, nobody's being charged with this shit, right? You got 6, 7, 8 million documents on all these motherfuckers, and ain't nobody. Ghislaine Maxwell last over there sitting in Camp Snoopy. You know what I'm saying? Is the only motherfucker. I mean, Epstein did off himself, so we never know how that would have went. I mean, now that we know that they had 6, 7, 8 million documents on there, it probably wouldn't have went the way he would have thought it would have went. But yeah, man, you gotta ask yourself why on some of this shit, man.
So I don't know if that's an active investigation because Blanche said that they did redact some material or did not include some material of active investigations. Didn't know they had any active investigations because a couple months ago they said that there were no other clients.
Well, and remember that before that investigation, Pam Bondi said, remember, she started this whole thing coming out and saying, we're done with this.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to investigate. Evidently there was.
Yeah, but I want to be super clear. We don't know that Trump did that. We just know that someone accused them of that. So like if that was someone you like, just picture, I don't want to put out any names, right? You'd say, whoa. He didn't have his day in court. They didn't even vet that one person, let alone build a case, let alone bring it to a grand jury, let alone convict him, right? So we want to be super fair about that. It's just an allegation,
most definitely.
Obviously a deeply disturbing allegation.
I want to be fair about that too, because again, even though I lean the way I lean in my politics, I'm still gonna be fair. And so, it's still chalked up as an allegation, and that's how we're gonna cover it over here.
What's more disturbing is that there are tons and tons of allegations, and it's unclear how many of them were thoroughly investigated at all.
Yeah.
In the past, now.
Okay. So that right there is a problem for me, because again, you're categorizing things as allegations, which are already, just one-sided, but then you go and dig deeper and you question how many of these allegations have been actually investigated thoroughly. And that's where the Pandora's box opens up. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the cover up comes in, because, again, at the end of the day, these boys had, they was living the rich white man's lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for lack of a better word, you know what I mean? So, over a period of 10 years, 12 years, 50, I don't know how many years, you know what I mean? I mean, to have 6 or 7 or 8 million documents, like that's pretty substantial, man.
Or has it just been accepted in the Justice Department? No, do not investigate. And why? There's of course all the theories, as we've gone through a million times, about powerful guys, but as you're gonna see a little bit later, there's also the issue of the intelligence agencies in Israel. So whenever those things are involved, it becomes a complete no-go zone. So I wanna move on to.
All right, yeah. That's for sure, man. I think we still, there's a lot more digging that needs to be done in all this, again, because even in some of these allegations, salute Nikki 901, and even in these allegations, you don't know what's been investigated thoroughly and what hasn't, and that's, to me, is a big problem.
Elon Musk and Bill Gates, but again, even on them, huge grain of salt on what you're hearing here, because no one was convicted, nobody was brought to trial.
Right,
these
absolutely.
are people that are just saying this about them.
Exactly.
Right, absolutely. So we're gonna get into more of what the fuck people are saying about Donald Trump and his entourage, and even I've heard Bill Clinton's name in this. I've heard Jay-Z's name mentioned in this. So it's a lot of it's a lot of names being thrown out in here. But what I'm really looking for is what's attached to these names. You know what I'm saying? And what what kind of motion that they had with Epstein in committing some of the crimes that we knew that he committed around these times. See, that's the thing. Epstein, they already knew that he convicted he committed these crimes at the time, right? And so, I think right now everybody's trying to figure out who in his entourage was also a part of this, right? And so, yeah, let's see what else we got, man. Let's break down some more of this video and see if we can't get some more details on exactly what's going on, man. This is the remix with Cali Dre, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. We going through some of these Epstein accusations and documents that have slipped out. Let me see where I want to go with this. Here, let's go right here, man, and let's see what else we got. This the remix with Cali Dre. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Here, let me put this up on the stage. There we go.
Donald Trump perpetrated against young girls that are being revealed in these new Epstein files are the most disgusting and sickening that we have ever seen. Anyone not immediately calling for Donald Trump's impeachment is an unserious person who never cared about crime or corruption or pedophiles or any of this, and they never will. They are spineless and they are insincere. But we knew this was coming, and that makes it so much worse, that we knew this is what's coming. And it still stings. It's still so hard to read and comprehend that we have gotten to this point. And that is why the DOJ immediately removed every single one of these files from its website. But there were many journalists taking screenshots, saving and uploading them. And that is what we are going to get into.
Yeah. So there was a concerted effort by this administration to remove documents once they saw the backlash. And so the 500 lawyers that the taxpayers are paying for, obviously wasn't enough, man. That lets you know the depth of this shit. That 500 lawyers cannot even redact enough to make this not embarrassing as fuck and possibly illegal and sick as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Fortunately, though, there's a counter narrative already being presented by the administration, starting with what Todd Blanche had to say this morning about how no one would be protecting Trump, only for hours later, Donald Trump to be protected.
Very quickly, can you assure the American public that President Trump, like every other prominent person whose name came up in relation to the Epstein files, that all documents, photos, and anything relevant to him connected to the case are being released?
I mean, yes, I can assure that we complied with the statute, we complied with the act, and there is no, we did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody. I mean, I think that.
Listen, man, that's a lie. That's a lie because, again, if you guys go back and read the ruling, the judge said all the documents had to be released. Not we found 3 million more over here. It was before the whole what is that Venezuela raid. It was like, oh, we found 1 million more documents. Okay, all right, cool. Today we wake up and they like, we dropped 3 million, but it's still 3 million more that we didn't drop, and those are more explosive. Like, I hope that I'm doing a good job of illustrating what a cover-up looks like. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, shit, that's what it smelled like to me.
Every other prominent person whose name came up in relation to the Epstein files, that all documents, photos, and anything relevant to him connected to the case are being released.
I mean, yes, I can assure that we complied with the statute, we complied with the act, and there is no, we did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody. I mean, I think that there's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents.
No, it won't be satisfied because there's still 3 million more documents that have not been released that you guys are slow walking. Why? Yeah, the public is not satisfied because, and listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't think that the Epstein files was an issue that would ultimately have this nation in a frenzy like it is, because I just thought he had done so much egregious shit. Like, why would whatever's going on in these Epstein files be, shock the consciousness of the American people if it hadn't been shocked by 90 plus felonies? I mean, shit, but shit. Hey, even Cali Dre wrong sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I was wrong about the impact of these Epstein files for sure.
And there's nothing I can do about that. But President Trump, of all the people in Washington D.C. and around this country that have said for years the same consistent message about Jeffrey Epstein, is President Trump.
The fact that the Deputy Attorney General, who worked for the President of the United States as his personal lawyer, defending him against other crimes, is now telling us, don't worry, we didn't protect my former client, my current client, who I went down to North Florida to interview Ghislaine Maxwell to protect him.
Right. So again, so who he's talking about is the guy that was just speaking, who was Donald Trump's personal lawyer and who's now basically, I guess, the country's lawyer. But that right there definitely smells like a conflict of interest to me. But again, I can only point these things out and hope that people pay attention to what I see, man. It's definitely a conflict of interest. If nothing else, the perception of a conflict of interest, which perception is reality for anybody that, you know, has done anything in their life of stature. You know what I'm saying?
The fact that he even has to say that should be a massive scandal. But the fact that he's saying it and it's not true is even worse. But it's not just the defending of Donald Trump. I find that so important, and it's the reason I want to play this second clip of Todd Blanche before we get to this reporting, because it's not just about Donald Trump. It's about everything, and they're lying about everything.
So just to clarify,
Hey, listen, hold on. I want to replay that. We're going to replay that, bro. Let me get to the big screen. Let me get to the motherfucking big screen real quick, bro. Because, listen, he just broke it down to y'all, bro. He just broke it down to y'all. Don't listen to me, bro. Listen to Mick fucking Jagger right here, bro. Like, don't listen to me. Cali Dre don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Don't listen to me. Listen to Mick fucking Jagger right here, bro. Like, he just told you they're lying about everything, bro.
Should be a massive scandal. But the fact that he's saying it and it's not true is even worse. But it's not just the defending of Donald Trump. I find that so important, and it's the reason I want to play this second clip of Todd Blanche before we get to this reporting, because it's not just about Donald Trump. It's about everything, and they're lying about everything.
So just to clarify,
listen, man. Listen. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Listen to Mick fucking Jagger, man.
This second clip of Todd Blanche before we get to this reporting, because it's not just about Donald Trump. It's about everything, and they're lying about everything.
So just to clarify, is the public going to learn the identities of the men who abused the girls with the information that you're releasing? And if not, why not? And then I have a quick follow-up.
I mean, you just baked in an assumption into your question that I have never said and I don't know to be true. Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like, what does that mean? I mean, I don't understand what that means.
Whoa.
I mean-
Whoa. Sir? Sir. I think it was a pretty straightforward question. I think he said, are we ever going to learn about the men that abused the young girls in this situation? If you see the tap dance in this guy, oh, I mean, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Bruh, you know what the fuck we talking about. Y'all just investigate. Y'all just went through 3 million documents of what we're talking about. So again, man, I look at this shit real different, bro. Like I'm looking at body language. I'm looking at, you know, what your facial expressions is. I'm looking at the words you saying just to determine, are you full of shit or not? You know what I'm saying? And this guy most definitely smells the part, I'll say.
The men who abused the girls with the information that you're releasing? And if not, why not? And then I have a quick follow-up.
I mean, you just baked in an assumption into your question that I have never said and I don't know to be true. Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like, what does that mean? I mean, I don't understand what that means.
What does that mean? I think it was pretty fucking straightforward, bro.
The men who abused the young women through Epstein's
Look, we said in July, and it remains as true today as it was in July. If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice, about men who abused women, we would prosecute them.
There is a reason.
Whoa. Hold on, Mick. Hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, bro, but don't listen to Mick fucking Jagger right here, bro. He's got his ear to the fucking streets, bro. Okay, but these are the people that are leading this country, man. These are the people that are leading the world. And what we know from the last video is that Ghislaine Maxwell is the only one sitting in jail for this, right? There's a lot of names being mentioned in this shit, but Ghislaine Maxwell, she's the only one sitting in Camp Snoopy over there, and they didn't already, you know, lightened her little sentence, or you know, her conditions, I guess I'll say. You know what I mean? Got her up out of more secure environment, put her to a less secure environment. Now the warden is we're gonna get into that too, man. I think I clipped that video, man. We're gonna get into that. But this is why I be so animated about these topics, these political topics, man, because to me, I don't like a motherfucker just lying to me in my face, man, and telling me, the sky is really green, but I can look up and I see it's blue. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna, and a lot of people, when you talk to them, they'll be like, well, it does look a little green. You know what I mean? Nah, motherfucker, it's blue. Like that's just where I'm at with this whole shit, man. I hope I'm doing a good job of narrating and explaining, you know what I'm saying? But my frustrations is at an all-time high. If y'all on any of these panels, y'all know. You know what I'm saying?
Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like, what does that mean? I mean, I don't understand what that means.
Well, I mean, they're the men who abuse the young women through Epstein's.
Look, we said in July, and it remains as true today as it was in July. If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice, about men who abused women, we would prosecute them.
There is a reason that Donald Trump isn't just protecting himself, but also the other men who abused these young girls, these teenagers, these children. And it is because Donald Trump knows that if we know their names, if we know their crimes, then they will have to speak out. They will be compelled to testify before Congress to further implicate Donald Trump. And at the same time, he wants you to think that the Epstein files is this, just a tiny little thing, that it was a couple of people who bumped into a guy, just some guy in Palm Beach. But that's not true. It goes so much deeper. The cover up is extending so far, and it's obvious.
Listen, Kelly Dre don't know what the fuck he talking about. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got no problem telling me that. You know what I mean? That's why I had to put the shit on the bottom of the screen. Hey, please feel free to hate on me. You know what I mean? To all you hating ass motherfuckers, don't listen to me. Listen to Mick fucking Jagger, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
That's why. This is truly sickening. If you don't want to stick around, you shouldn't. But it is heartbreaking and horrifying. Sarah Longwell of The Bulwark reports on one email in the files, Jeffrey Epstein saying Trump is likely to be asked questions soon about me. Supposedly, a girl said that Donald had sex with her at my house when she was underage. We'll see too. She said he has a witness. Twitter user Brian Krasenstein writes, new Epstein files. Here's an FBI report. Donald Trump had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the children in and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children's vulva and vaginas by entering a finger, and he rated the children on tightness.
Now, this is all alleged. Nobody's been convicted for any of these crimes, so I want to make sure that we stay fair and balanced over here from that standpoint. But, everybody's entitled to an opinion, and my opinion is this shit looks nasty and messy as fuck from the leader of the free world.
It's just fucking sickening. We were taken.
Like, think about that. I just want to try to put shit in perspective, right? Before we continue with the rest of this is the remix with Kelly Dre. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. Listen, I just feel like this. Y'all let me know in the comments. Any of y'all got any of these kind of crazy ass charges on your background? I mean, allegedly, we'll say. You know what I mean? Because again, it's not, this shit don't happen by accident. You don't get these kind of charges and these kind of, allegations and these kind of, you know what I'm saying, situations by accident, man. Salute, Toya. Hey, we getting to it. I might do a 24-hour live in this, but I got so much shit I want to cover on this shit, man. But yeah, I'm just trying to push it in perspective, bro. Like it doesn't add up, man. Donald Trump hung out with this man for 10 years or more. They were best friends. Now we find out that there's 6-7 million documents just on this case, just on Epstein alone. And so it's just hard for me to imagine that you hang out with a person for 10 years and their FBI has 6+ million documents on your head. And You'd have to ask why. I mean, does the FBI has 6 million documents on anybody else in this motherfucker, bro? So like, I'm just trying to put this shit into perspective. You know what I mean? And it's just like, this stuff doesn't happen by accident, man. This is called a trail. You know what I mean? Some of it may be allegations, but a lot of this circumstantial evidence and allegation, they're saying the same stuff. It's just like, that's the shit that be, it's not different crimes. It's like the same kind of crimes, man.
Forced to give oral sex to Donald Trump, forced to allow them to rape us. I was 13 years old when Donald Trump raped me, and Ghislaine Maxwell was also present. News. Epstein files allege that Donald Trump forced a 13 to 14-year-old girl to perform oral sex on him and then hit her after she bit him. Of course, the DOJ is immediately moving to take down all of these files off.
Yeah, that's a fact. Hey, Toya, they've arrested toddlers, journalists, and Sha'Carri Richardson. I seen that. Nobody from them files. Man, yeah, we just watched in the previous video, man, and the guy was basically making the he's asking the question, is anybody ever going to get charged with any of this? So I that question is still out there, man. But the Department of Justice, again, 500 lawyers that the taxpayers are paying for to redact all this stuff, that a judge that we pay for said that all these information had to go out. Like, think about the spin on this. And this is what I'm talking about, bro. He just like, it's a spin, right? We pay federal judges' salaries, right? A federal judge said that all of the documents had to be released as of like 2 months ago or some shit, right? And so, again, now we're paying 500 lawyers to redact less than half of the documents that's supposed to be like, I just be trying to do the math for y'all so y'all could do it for yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit, and that's why I be so animated about this shit, because it just pisses me off. But I don't lie to me like this, man. Or if you gonna lie to me, cut me in. Where my $5,000 from Doge? Where my $2,000 that y'all promised from the other shit? Like, don't lie to me and cut me out, nigga. Like, you got me fucked up. This trickle down economics is some bullshit. This is my opinion. And this is the remix with Cali Drake. So that's what y'all go get.
And trying to delete them in any other form that they exist. A Capitol Hill reporter wrote, Republican senators keep asking me what's in the new Epstein files, so I showed them the deleted spreadsheet. One responded, that's dark, man, fuck. Who declined to comment on the record, of course. I don't know what to say. Like, I do know what to say. What I want to say is,
right? No, listen, I feel you, Mick. Mick fucking Jagger right here, bro. Like, I don't be knowing what to say either, bro. Young Mick Jagger, bro. I don't know what the fuck to say either, bro. And that's just why I think it's just important to cover it, put it in the atmosphere so people can consume it, because it's a lot. 6-7 million documents, that's a lot to go through. So, but we got to be diligent in getting to the truth, man.
Immediately throw him in jail, lock him under the jail, wrap it all up. Every Republican that's ever defended him. But I'm just like, we've been saying that because we knew that this is what it was going to be. We knew. I said it a couple of times. If what has already come out before today was just the tip of the iceberg, right? And what had already come out before today was disqualifying of public life already. If that was what they were allowing to get out there, then the stuff that they were hiding, and they're still hiding more, must be inconceivably bad. And that's where we're at today. Donald Trump is a pedophile. He is. And there's no other.
Listen. Don't listen to me. Listen to Mick fucking Jagger, man. Like, come on, man. I'm not the only one that sees this. And I mean,
wrap it all up. Every Republican that's ever defended him. But I'm just like, we've been saying that because we knew that this is what it was going to be. We knew.
Yeah.
I said it a couple of times. If what has already come out before today was just the tip of the iceberg, right? And what had already come out before today was disqualifying of public life already. If that was what they were allowing to get out there, then the stuff that they were hiding, and they're still hiding more, must be inconceivably bad. And that's where we're at today. Donald Trump is a pedophile. He is.
Yeah.
And there's no other way to spin it, no other way to put it. There's no, Megyn Kelly. Well, I think Epstein, 16 and 17. Shut the fuck up. What a bitch.
Yeah.
Call yourself a Christian.
Don't listen to
You're
me.
Disgusting. You disgust me.
Listen to Mick fucking Jagger, man.
But really, now, I don't know how to process this. And I know that should be sometimes my job, and that's what I have to do, and that's right. But I truly don't. I don't know how anyone could see this and be able to process and get a thought out. Where my head goes to immediately is that first Epstein email I wanted to read that Sarah Longwell talked about. Epstein saying that Donald Trump will now get questions about me. And I think those questions were going to be asked in the first term. Those questions were going to be asked in 2016 leading up to Election Day. I think those questions were thwarted in the first term. And I think some action was taken in the first term. And I don't think we've talked, we haven't talked about that missing. Why else would she be in a 5 the go-between? Their justification.
The rest of this is just opinion, man. So I think we got his opinion. You know what I mean? Mick, let us know what he talk about, man. Let me put myself back on the motherfucking screen, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. I'm just going through some of this Epstein shit, and we trying to piece together and break down what is actually what. I mean, it's a lot of stuff, man.
The Department of Justice,
go here, man. You know what I mean? I spin the block on news. You know what I mean? I don't just go, from one source or two sources. I want people to get multiple opinions in here, man. So let me pull up PBS. You know what I mean? PBS, pretty fair and balanced. I don't think anybody got a problem with PBS. Maybe Trump does. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But let's tap in with PBS and see what they're talking about.
Released its latest and likely last major batch of files related to investigations into the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. This comes more than a month after the DOJ missed a deadline set by Congress and signed into law by President Trump. It includes more than 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, and 180,000 images. The DOJ says there are redactions, including the personally identifiable information of victims, but the department has not provided a full explanation of what's excluded. The Deputy Attorney General said the White House did not have oversight over the review or redactions.
We complied with the statute, we complied with the act, and there is no we did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody.
Hey, y'all put in the comments, how many of y'all believe this dude right here when he say that? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody believe Brooks Brothers suit right here? You know what I'm saying? Does anybody believe when he's saying that they didn't have any protection of Trump in any of this? Y'all let me know in the comments, man. I think y'all know my fucking answer to that question, but I want to know what y'all think, man.
A hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents. And there's nothing I can do about that.
Our team has been going through that.
Yeah, whoa. There is something you can do about that, brother. Release all the motherfucking documents.
And there's nothing I can do about that.
Listen, you are in the Department of Justice. You are a leader in the Department of Justice. And you telling me there's nothing that you can do about it? Okay.
There's nothing I can do about that.
Our team has been going through that document dump today, and NewsHour Justice correspondent Ali Rogan joins me now with what we know. So, Ali, what did we learn today?
Anna, this was a massive document dump. As you said, 3 million pages. As you can imagine, our team is still sifting through them. Before today, for comparison, the DOJ had released about 500,000 pages, so this is orders of magnitude bigger. And the person making this announcement today is also notable. Todd Blanche, now Deputy Attorney General, he was President Trump's former personal attorney. He was emphatic, though, that the White House had no involvement in any of the preparation of the documents. He also said that between this release and a forthcoming report to Congress, once that's out, the DOJ's obligations under this law that Congress passed, the Epstein files.
Listen, I don't even know if I could believe that, bro. Like, I'm just hearing them go on with this shit, and they damn near pissing me off because they reporting that shit. Listen, why is there 1 million documents here, then we found 3 million here, but then there's another 3 million? Like, bruh, 2 or 3 weeks ago, before they hit Argentina or Venezuela, you know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be 1 million documents out there. I remember seeing the headline because I was about to hit the streets on a Friday, and the headline came through. There's 1 million more documents. The very next week, this motherfucker invades Venezuela, and now there's 3 to 6 million more documents. I just try to do the math, man, so y'all can do it for yourself, man.
What people are looking for is mentions of President Trump, and there are thousands of them in these documents. Many of them, we should note, are news clippings, but there are some lists and summaries of unsubstantiated claims made against him from individuals alleging wrongdoing, including graphic depictions of alleged sexual abuse, including of underage girls. Some of those complaints date back to the 90s, others from more recently, around when he was campaigning for president.
So wait. I think that's pretty important, man. So let's spin back with what she just said real quick. I just want to hear what she just said really quickly.
Of those complaints date back to the 90s, others from more recently, around.
So you got around which time?
Around when he was campaigning for president.
Okay. So you got allegations from the 90s, spanning from the 90s all the way to when he was running for president in what was that, 2016? You know, I always try to be fair to celebrities, man, and when there's allegations that come up against them, and I always feel like, yeah, you know, one story is hard to believe unless you have the facts, unless you have the receipts, you know what I'm saying? But if multiple people are saying similar things about you for a decade or more,
what we don't know, though, is whether any of these claims have been substantially investigated. But the Department of Justice says that they were required by law to release everything, including the.
On, bruh. Like, I keep hearing this same thing. We don't know how much has been investigated. Why? Like, this whole thing smells like a cover-up. If that's what you're really saying, we can't substantiate if any of this has even really been investigated. Then you have to start following the money. Why wasn't it investigated? Who paid who to not get it investigated? Who intimidated who? Who bullied who? Right? These are the questions that I ask. And, you know, don't seem like nobody else is asking them questions, man. So support this channel, support this platform. You know what I'm saying? Fall in love with that Cash App so I can get out here in these streets and get y'all the answers y'all looking for, man.
Recently, around when he was campaigning for president. What we don't know, though, is whether any of these claims have been substantially investigated. But the Department of Justice says that they were required by law to release everything, including those documents that were fake or falsely submitted. There's also a new diagram we saw today that shows basically an organization chart of Epstein's inner circle. Some employees were blacked out, but we see the connections between him and co-conspirators like.
Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Here, let me put this on the big screen because this looks pretty important. Anytime you got the unalive board, you know what I'm saying? You know, let's see what we got here. Okay, Jeffrey Epstein is in the center of this. Ghislaine Maxwell, girlfriend, assistant redacted. Okay, these people. This dude right here, bro, is it's a bunch of just characters, and this guy for sure looks like he's committed some heinous crimes before. This guy most definitely look like he's done some heinous shit, and he has the money to do it. It's the remix with Callie Dre, man. Let's go.
Ghislaine Maxwell, as well as several attorneys and an accountant. There's also what appears to be a new picture of a desk or a table filled with photos of Epstein, Maxwell, and public figures, including Trump, as well as one with Pope John Paul II. We've also seen in past releases, some pages are entirely redacted and others are completely mundane things like schedule updates. Anna, I also want to note that we've reached out to the White House for comment and they have provided none.
We should also note, I understand there are other members of the
Yeah, all right.
administration mentioned in some of these documents. What do we know?
Okay.
Yes,
Hold on,
we already knew that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick had a relationship with Epstein, which he claimed.
Commerce Secretary, the current Commerce Secretary, had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. The Commerce Secretary had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. You know why that's interesting to me, man? Because didn't we hear in the Diddy trial about the trafficking across state lines being something about interstate commerce? So if this guy had a relationship with Epstein, around the same time Epstein was known for doing the dirt he was doing, how does this guy end up being the Commerce Secretary if he may have been involved in some of the interstate commerce illegalities that was going on at that time? Yeah, I don't know. That just came to my mind. I'm just ad-libbing right now, but this is how I think about some of this shit. It just, you can't make this shit up, bro. Like the irony in some of this shit, man.
Had ended in the early aughts, but new documents indicate that they made plans to meet for lunch in 2012 on Epstein's private island in the Caribbean, while Lutnick was also vacationing in the Caribbean elsewhere with his family. And it does seem in those documents like they followed up and had that lunch.
We should underscore here, just being mentioned in the documents is no indication of any kind of wrongdoing, but we should double down on this idea. The deadline to release those documents was more than a month ago. Why has it taken so long?
It was indeed. It was on December 19th. The Department of Justice says they sent more than 500 lawyers to go through these documents and meticulously redact these things in a letter.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I've been hinting to, man. That's what I've been telling y'all, man. I'm on top of this shit, man. And they just validated it and clarified it for y'all, man. I'm gonna double it back for y'all.
More than a month ago. Why has it taken so long?
It was indeed. It was on.
Hold on. I want to catch that whole shit.
Double down on this idea. The deadline to release those.
Yeah, because look, the reason why I be running it back like this, I'm gonna tell y'all, because I like to start it at certain points. So when I go back and clip it for the TikTok MAGA mongrels, you know what I'm saying? It's already queued up and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, y'all gonna get me off track, but go look at some of the comments these motherfuckers be leaving on my TikTok, man. Out of control. They lost as fuck. But I'm trying to bring y'all back, you know what I mean, where you need to be. Support my shit, man. It's the remix with Callie Dre.
No indication of any kind of wrongdoing, but we should also double down on this idea. The deadline to release those documents was more than a month ago. Why has it taken so long?
It was indeed. It was on December 19th. The Department of Justice says they sent more than 500 lawyers to go through these documents and meticulously redact these things. In a letter today, Attorney General Pam Bondi said they'd identified more than 6 million pages that needed review, which resulted in the 3 million today. They say they redacted personally identifiable information.
Okay, hold up. This is all important information. So released 3 million, 6 million was total. So there's still 3 million that's outstanding is what it sounds like. But I want to clip this too and get a good accurate accounting of what we're looking at here.
Redact these things. In a letter today, Attorney General Pam Bondi said they'd identified more than 6 million pages that needed review, which resulted in the 3 million today. They say they redacted personally identifiable information of victims and sexually explicit material. She also said that approximately 200,000 pages have been withheld or redacted because of various privileges, including attorney-client privilege, and that within 15 days, they're going to give Congress a more detailed look at government officials and quote, politically exposed persons in this document, although there's no definition of what politically exposed means.
Speaking of
right. And that's, let's pause it right there, man. And I'm going to put myself back on the motherfucking big screen a little bit. Listen, I don't like that. politically exposed persons? Is that they're redacting on the basis of politically exposed persons? That wasn't in the ruling. That wasn't in the ruling. The court ruling said all documents had to be released. So who are the politically exposed people? Could that be people in this administration? Y'all let me know, man. I'm just trying to let y'all know what I'm picking up on, and y'all let me know if I'm wrong or right, man. You know what I'm saying? But it just, a lot of this reporting doesn't sound like these reporters is doing a piss poor job of just digging deeper into this shit and figuring out what has been reported, what's been validated. And I know that media budgets around the country have been have shrank due to internet and different factors of this administration wanting to silence the news. But man, we gotta dig as deep as we can out here, man. This is the remix with Kelly Dre, man. Let's go.
Of Congress, a more detailed look at government officials and quote, politically exposed persons in this document, although there's no definition of what politically exposed means.
Speaking of Congress, how is all this landing on Capitol Hill?
What we heard today from the
Yeah, man. So that's a little bit of that. You know what I mean? That's a little bit of that. What else did I want to show y'all today? What we looking like on time? Okay. Yeah, man. I just wanted to run through some of this, man, and just figure out what's what. What else we got here? What else we got here? Did I want to show this? Yeah, let's go right here, man. Let's check in with this. And see what other reporting we can get out of this.
You can go to, if you want to.
So now we're gonna go back to my man that initially told us there were 3 million outstanding documents, and let's check in with him, man, and see what's going on his platform. Midas Touch. It's the remix with Kelly Dre. Let's go.
Read this document. You can go to MidasPlus.com. I have the whole document. I'll read you a little more from this, but if you want to read the full thing, go to MidasPlus.com. I know me reading this document can be very triggering. And it says, blank reported that unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral sex. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. And then there's lots of stuff like this in this document. Again, MidasPlus.com. If you want to read it, let me be very clear. These are not corroborated, but these are complaints that were made and are in the files. And remember what Todd Blanche said. He said that they had reviewed 6 million and they viewed these documents as the relevant ones to produce. So this was produced by the DOJ, and then they immediately tried to remove it. I think this is notable as well. Trump's new pick for chairman of the Federal Reserve made an appearance in today's Epstein.
We've heard that theme throughout the night, right? There was a release of documents, and then there was an oops, we got to pull some of this back. Why? Why?
File release. You see right there, Kevin Warsh. Kevin Warsh is now Trump's pick to be the new chairman of the Federal Reserve, but he's in this email. Kevin Warsh, Raymond McGuire, Ghislaine Maxwell, Brett Ratner, John Pagozzi. So other familiar names appear right there. Let's take a look as well what this email is all about, where Kevin Warsh's name appears and Brett Ratner. Brett Ratner was the director of the Melania movie, and Ghislaine. This was an email, December 21st, 2010. Subject, St. Bart's.
Twin. Nigga. I had to bust that out real quick.
What this email is all about, where Kevin Warsh's name appears and Brett Ratner. Brett Ratner was the director of the Melania movie, and Ghislaine. This was an email, December 21st, 2010. Subject, St. Bart's. Here is the list I just sent Harvey. I'm not sure if that's Harvey Weinstein. How many people are with you tomorrow? Do you know blank? Steve Cohen next door to me, just met him, and Larry Gogo next to the Isle de France. Keep me posted. Please look this over. I think Roman's boat is bigger than Ron Perlman's. Here is a list of everyone I know that's coming down so far. Please advise where and when to screen. This is the St. Bart's Christmas party of 2010 off the Isle de France or the Hotel Taiwana. And then there are all these names listed like Roman Abramovich, Kevin Warsh, and all those names you see right there. As I mentioned at the outset, Brett Ratner, Ghislaine Maxwell, and others. As I mentioned at the outset, the lawyer for the survivors is saying that the DOJ violated the trust of victims with insufficient redactions on what was already produced. This is a statement from the lawyer of the survivors, Bradley Edwards. Bradley Edwards says the following. The department has been in possession of a comprehensive list of victims of Jeffrey Epstein for months. In that time, they have spoken directly with several terrified women who they promised to protect through a fulsome redaction process. Their complete and utter failure to do so would lead any reasonable person to believe that these violations are no mistake. There are not words to express our disappointment, he added. Essentially,
yeah. So basically, they fucked up. You know what I'm saying? They redacted, you know, the what did they say? The people who would be politically exposed, but they didn't really think about the victims. And I think, again, that is important. You know what I mean? Because you're talking about potential predators, alleged predators, and how they treat victims is definitely a red flag and an indication on alleged actions. It's just my opinion.
Maxwell and others. As I mentioned at the outset, the lawyer for the survivors is saying that the DOJ violated the trust of victims with insufficient redactions on what was already produced. This is a statement from the lawyer of the survivors, Bradley Edwards. Bradley Edwards says the following. The department has been in possession of a comprehensive list of victims of Jeffrey Epstein for months. In that time, they have spoken directly with several terrified women who they promised to protect through a fulsome redaction process. Their complete and utter failure to do so would lead any reasonable person to believe that these violations are no mistake. There are not words to express our disappointment, he added. Essentially, these survivors are saying this was done maliciously by the Trump regime in order to attack and defame and harm and re-traumatize the survivors. So to be clear, the Trump regime has withheld 3 million of the 6 million documents. From the 3 million documents, there have been some pretty devastating documents for Donald Trump, for Howard Lutnick, which I'll talk about in a moment, for Elon Musk, which I'll talk about, also some really bad documents about Bill Gates that I'll share in a moment as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of names that pop up in this Epstein list. You know what I mean? A lot of names, man. And so, you know, I feel like all of those individuals, if they had any kind of hand in any nefarious behavior, they all need to be, you know, prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, man. And so I just want to be clear on that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And others that were in this production. But what was also produced were the names of survivors and victims in a way that re-traumatized them, and that those redactions were not made appropriately right here. Epstein survivor Haley Robson just went on CNN after Todd Blanche held a news conference, and Haley Robson says, "You're not going to gaslight me into thinking that this administration has somehow prioritized survivors." And Haley Robson does not believe that this is the full and the survivors don't believe that this is the full Epstein files that are being produced. And as I mentioned at the outset,
look, I want to pop it right here. Let me stop it. You know what I'm saying? Right here. Because I hear a lot from, you know, right-leaning supporters that there was only one victim. There was only one real victim. And before she passed away, she said that Donald Trump never did anything to her. I forget the lady's name. If y'all know her name, put it in the comments for me. But as you can see, again, and there's been, you know, these victims have made commercials. I've seen them on commercials. They're actively, you know, pushing for justice, man. So I just want to, you know, push that out there and make sure that that's known, man, that there were multiple victims and they are, you know, using their voice to try to push this justice, man.
It's missing photos, it's missing video, it's missing audio. I think it's missing internal memos, which seem to have been withheld. Other witness reports seem to be withheld. And from what was actually produced, they didn't redact the victims' names appropriately to re-traumatize the victims right here.
It's officially the new year, which means setting wildly unrealistic goals.
Hold up, bro. Did they try to sneak a commercial in the man? If you don't get up out of here with that, man, y'all ain't paying me. I'm just covering the news, bro.
And it says, just a reminder, Elon Musk was asking about
Support the
coming to
platform.
your island on January 2nd. It's from Epstein's assistant, Leslie Groff, to Epstein. And here are emails from Elon to Jeffrey Epstein and Leslie Groff. Elon Musk is talking about, actually, I could fly back early on the 3rd. We'll be in St. Bart's. When should we head to your island on the 2nd? So they're all coordinating going to Epstein's island. And you see right there, Elon Musk doing it also. As Kyle Cheney writes, here's Epstein engaging in some really disgusting text messages with a powerful Slavic leader while discussing relations with Russians and other geopolitical endeavors. They're talking about little girls right here. And it's a guy named Miro Latric saying, I don't have a girl next to me right now. And then Epstein responds, as you are a diplomat, that says she'll be back in a minute, or she's across the room, or it's a woman and not a girl, or she just left, or there are two. I'm learning your language. And then
So, man, as you guys can see, like even in some of these messages, man, it's clear what Epstein was on, right? If this is indeed Epstein's phone number, because there's no name attached, so we're gonna be fair over here. If this is indeed Epstein's phone number, and this is the conversation that took place, they're spelling out what they about. They letting y'all know what Epstein's letting you know what he's on. And so my question has always been, if a man is this explicit on what he's standing on, and you standing with him, that kind of let everybody know what you standing on too. Because Jeffrey Epstein wasn't hiding his behavior.
And Myro goes, no, I really don't have a girl next to me right now. Too many eyes are watching me. I mean, how disgusting is that? Too many eyes are watching. And then Epstein goes, it's okay, I have two. And then Myro says, not fair, to which Epstein responds, but I'm not going to be president. Very funny, very funny. You want me to be president? Here's the email right here where Epstein claimed.
Yeah, so look, I mean, in this, let me get back to the screen. In this exchange, they're referencing, again, whoever this person in this phone number is, allegedly Jeffrey Epstein, is referencing a person that he knows that's about to be president around that time. And so even in this conversation with some Russian about some sleazy ass, nasty ass shit that they doing, he's still spinning it back to whoever was running for president at the time that these text messages were sent. Interesting.
And then Myro says, not fair, to which Epstein responds, but I'm not going to be president. Very funny, very funny. You want me to be president? Here's the email right here where Epstein claimed that Bill Gates caught an STD from Russian girls,
shit.
then discussed secretly medicating Melinda.
Damn it. You know what? Yeah, let me get back to this. We're going to be fair in this motherfucker. Bill Clinton, if you involved in this shit, bro, I'm shocked, but not surprised. I'll say that. I'm shocked, but not surprised, bro. You got to do better, brother. You got to do better.
To cover it. I mean, this is some horrific stuff right here. Epstein sends an email to himself, like a note to file, like a memo of what he wants to say to Bill Gates. This is July 18th, 2013. And then it says, to add insult to the injury, you then subsequently, with tears in your eyes, implored me to please delete the emails regarding your STD. You requested I provide you antibiotics that you can surreptitiously give to Melinda, and the description of your penis. You also made it clear to me that I am not to refer to blank. That is another topic that must remain between the two of us. In return for all of these requests, which I would have done without a second thought. And he goes on to basically say that he was in a business relationship with Bill, and he thinks that he's now being treated unfairly by Bill Gates. Right there is basically the email. Just reading you all the things that we're seeing in this file right now. Then you have this email as well from Jeffrey Epstein. It says, reminder, Elon Musk Christmas, New Year's Eve. More about Elon Musk going to the island. Also, there were tons of emails and text messages between Steve Bannon and Epstein here as well, where they were mocking Donald Trump.
Steve Bannon mocking Donald Trump. What else?
And talking about Donald Trump and lots of emails there.
Okay, so Steve Bannon, you guys are probably familiar with who Steve Bannon is, man. He was very visual in Trump's first term for a lot of different reasons. I think he ended up going to do some jail time or something like that. They wanted him to testify, I believe, on Trump. I don't remember if he did. I think he didn't. Ended up going to do some jail time. If that's what I could be a little off, but let me know. I think, but y'all know who Steve Bannon is. If you watch any kind of news or any kind of political news, he's definitely a figure that you know who he is, man. But he's been riding with Trump for a long time. He apparently has had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and yeah. So I mean, it's again, this cast of characters, man, is what I also want to highlight, because a lot of these players are on your TV screens doing news and interviews and shit. The commerce fucking secretary. You know what I'm saying? The president. So man, it's the remix with Cali Dre, man. Let's go.
Share this with you as well. The new files released also appear to show that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick discussing visiting the Epstein Island.
Man, come on, bro. I promise y'all, I didn't even watch this far in the video. I'll just be paying attention, man. The Commerce Secretary, bro. Like, come on, man.
With Bill, and he thinks that he's now being treated unfairly by Bill Gates. Right there is basically the email. Just reading you all the things that we're seeing in this file right now. Then you have this email as well from Jeffrey Epstein. It says, reminder, Elon Musk Christmas, New Year's Eve. More about Elon Musk going to the island. Also, there were tons of emails and text messages between Steve Bannon and Epstein here as well, where they were mocking Donald Trump and talking about Donald Trump and lots of emails there. Want to share this with you as well. The new files released also appear to show that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick discussing visiting the Epstein Island in 2012, when Lutnick previously claimed that he cut off ties around 2005 with Epstein after being revoked.
Hold up, bruh. This is y'all's Commerce Secretary, bruh. TikTok mega mongrels. What y'all got to say about this, bruh? Listen, I got a new. Hold up, bro. Matter of fact, now that I'm on the mega mongrels, man, you know what I'm saying? I want y'all, bro. The reason why I do this, bro. The reason why I fucking do this, bro. Let me show you. You
don't understand. I ain't scared of you, motherfuckers.
Bro, that's why the fuck I do this.
By him. Remember that interview we shared with you 5 or 6 months ago where Lutnick gave an interview with the New York Post, and he was like, Epstein was Lutnick's neighbor like 20, 30 years ago. And Lutnick was like, yeah, he was gross. I showed up and he showed me a massage table and I never talked to him again. Well, it seems that they were talking quite frequently right here. Here's an email from Howard Lutnick to Jeffrey Epstein's assistant, Leslie Groff. And here's what they're talking about. Okay, lunch on Sunday. See you then. And then Leslie Groff to Howard Lutnick. Hi, Matthew and Candace. Might you be able to give so-and-so a few more details regarding lunch this Sunday? Do you know if it will just be Howard and his wife? Any kids coming along? Will they arrive at Jeffrey Epstein's island via their boat? And around what time is good for them? If you could pass along when you know, that would be great. So-and-so are copied here. This is December 21st, 2012. So
this is your Commerce Secretary right here. You know what I'm saying? Chopping it up with Epstein. TikTok mega mongrels. And y'all want to know why I do this shit? Y'all want to know why I do this shit?
Kick it! You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
When we have video of Howard Lutnick saying, oh, I never talked to Epstein after I visited his house that one time. They were talking about going to the island together, and we have that email right now for you all to see. Also, we'll share this with you right here. This is from David Ratner to Jeffrey Epstein regarding Howard Lutnick. This is November 14th, 2017. Hi, Jeffrey. Many thanks for your incredible donation in honor of Howard Lutnick. Would you like to take and add and offer your own words of congratulations in our commemorative journal? Are you able to join us at the event itself on December 11th? And would you like to take a table inclusive of your generosity? Thank you. And Epstein was giving a $50,000 donation for an event that Howard Lutnick was being honored at. And also Howard Lutnick invited Jeffrey Epstein to lots of different events. And we have all of the emails of that as well right here. Now,
listen, that's your commerce secretary, man. Like that guy's actively in power right now, making decisions on commerce. Like, what does the commerce secretary do? But hold up, let me look this shit up real quick. I like to be factual about all this shit I talk about, man. So let's look up what the commerce secretary does. This the remix with Kelly Dre, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I'm just ad-libbing right now because this shit is important, man. And there's a lot of names being popping up in this Epstein file, and I think that you guys should know who some of these people are. Commerce secretary. What does he do? What does he do? Come on, man. Why I gotta ask this shit more than one? Hey, how you supposed to have this shit down pat? You supposed to know what I'm thinking before I even fucking think it, bro. All right, let me see. The Secretary of Commerce is the chief executive of the United States Department of Commerce and is responsible for managing matters relating to economic growth and international trade. The Secretary's duties include managing federal agencies related to patents, weather, national security, and international trade, promoting U.S. businesses and supporting small businesses. Oh, you know what? I should probably put this up for y'all to read in this shit. Look, I'm eyeing them up, but I'm just vibing with this shit. Matter of fact, can I present this at the same time? You know what? Nah, fuck that. I'm just gonna read it, bro. Y'all just gonna take my word for it. Y'all can go to Google just like I can. Let's see what else. Creating jobs by increasing investment in trade, supporting innovation, and more. Overseeing trade agreements and managing the president's trade policies. Enforcing telecommunication policies, data and statistics, weather and climate agencies, and aiding the disenfranchised through the Economic Development Administration and the Minority Business Development Agency. Okay, now that kind of hits close to home right there. The Secretary of Commerce is a cabinet level official appointed by the president with the advice and consent of Senate. Howard Lutnick. That's the guy we just seen chopping it up with Epstein. So the guy's got a pretty important fucking job, bro. Especially to you minority business owners. This is the guy that's you know, he's in charge of making sure your minority business is not disenfranchised. And that you have economic development. Have you had any economic development in your small business? Let me know in the comments. Because if you haven't, Howard Lutnick is the fucking guy that's in charge of it. And he's been hanging out with Epstein. This is a pretty important job, bro. Like, bro. Patents, small businesses, trade, telecommunications, which is global. And that's another thing I may start diving into is Trump's relationships with these telecommunication executives. Because I think that's very interesting in the setup of a larger play down the line of trying to dominate global, you know, the communication chain, the messaging, the programming. So I told y'all, man, we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna break down some news and do some shit, but I'm gonna also try to inform people on how I see the game. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to a little bit of this, man. This is the remix with Cali Dre. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. I'm just kind of going through some of these videos right here, man. I'm gonna drop that link in the chat too, because I want to hear from people, man, and just see what they take is on this.
As part of the cover up right here, Todd Blanche held a press conference earlier today where he told reporters that there are no names in the Epstein files. He says there's no list or names. I just shared with you what was in it already. There are 3 million documents that are still missing. But here's what Todd Blanche had to say. Play this clip.
Look, we said in July.
We've seen
and
this.
It remains as true today as it was in July.
Todd Blanche.
If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice, about men who abused women, we would prosecute them.
How many of y'all believe that? Put it in the comments if y'all believe that Todd Blanche right here, if he knew that there were abusers that he could arrest and prosecute, that he would prosecute. How many of y'all believe that?
Right. We talked about the work that we're doing. That's why I said that. I said this earlier. There's this built-in assumption that somehow there's this hidden tranche of information of men that we know about that we're covering up or that we're choosing not to prosecute. That is not the case. I don't know.
Okay, so that's called spin and lies, because we already know from previous reporting that I just showed y'all right here on the remix with Cali Dre that there's still an additional 3 million plus documents out there that we know of, that 500 lawyers are going through, that we're paying for to redact information from us. Think about how that shit work, man. Like, we paying for all this shit, and they deciding what information we get to see, even though a federal court judge that we pay said that all of the fucking documents have to be released. And so let me get back to the big screen, man, because this is a teachable civics moment right here, and this is where we at. And I gotta really break this shit down for you. I hope that's why y'all tuning in, because I'm gonna really give y'all what it is. We at a point right now when things like that start happening, when the federal the court system says to do one thing explicitly, and the executive or any other branch of government decides to go the other way with it, or slow play it, or not do exactly what the letter of that law says to do, we have what's called a constitutional crisis. That's what it is. And I don't think the founders ever thought that we would get to this point, or I don't think that they even built in any kind of remedy for that. I mean, because if you really look at the Constitution and break it down as far as like kind of what it was trying to do and supposed to do, right? You find that like they really believed in the human spirit and the human person, even though it was a bunch of atrocities going on that they did to other people at that time. I think they still believed in the decency of a person, you know what I mean? And so they felt like the 3 checks and balances would be enough. But as you see in today's society in 2026, when you have a leader that's a bully, when you have his party controlling Congress, when you have his party controlling the Supreme Court, you know what I mean? It's just like when you just think about if you and all your homies from your block took over the government. That's kind of what it is. Like, that's why checks and balances is important, man. I just wanted to top that down for y'all. Let me get back to this real quick. I'm gonna drop that link in the chat too, man, because I want to hear what people.
Whether there are men out there that abuse these women, if we learn about information and evidence that allows us to prosecute them, you better believe we will. But I don't think that the public or you all are going to uncover men within the Epstein files that abuse women, unfortunately.
And here's what Todd Blanche responded when he was asked if he was in any way coordinating with the White House the release of documents today. Play this clip.
On Epstein, sir, if I may just ask one on that, please. You mentioned
we
a letter
covered
to
this earlier,
Congress.
man. Here, I'm
How and to
what else is going
around
on
this country.
He chopping down.
Get him a song.
Who's this guy? Who are these
We'll
people?
be satisfied by the review of these documents. Nothing I can do about that. But President Trump, and that's exactly what we did.
Now I want to remind you about Howard Lutnick's interview with the New York Post reporter Miranda Devine
Back to Howard
on
Lutnick,
Epstein, where he said, "This
the
guy's
Commerce
gross."
Secretary.
Play this clip.
I mean, that's an incredible story that you could pick up that he was a pervert.
It's gross. The guy's gross. Right with my wife. He's gross. The guy's gross. This was not, the deep nuance of Howard Lutnick. This guy's gross.
Right. So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
no, they participated.
Right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage, And what happened in that massage room, I assume was on video.
Wow. This is Howard Lutnick. This is your Commerce Secretary. He's in charge of your minority businesses not being disenfranchised and you getting, some relief and resources. He's in charge of telecommunications. He's in charge of the weather and some statistics and overall commerce. It sounds like, let's go back and chop down what the Commerce Secretary does. Telecommunications, patents, international trade. Like,
I was the greatest blackmailer ever. Blackmailed people. That's how we had money. So
protect President Trump. We didn't protect.
I want to hear I want to hear Howard Lutnick's take on this whole
nuance of Howard Lutnick. This guy's gross.
Right.
Okay.
So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
no, they participated.
Right.
That's what.
So according to Howard Lutnick, Bill Gates and who was the other name? Bill Clinton. They all participated. They were all getting massages. So, shit, tear their ass down too. You know what I mean? Because this was nasty work, man.
Get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever. Blackmail.
Talking about Epstein.
People. That's how we had money. So
what happened to those videos? Why?
Listen, Brad, I'm glad I broke this. Again, I didn't watch this far down, man. I try to watch, enough to give y'all to get an idea of what they're talking about. But I like to give natural live reactions to shit, man. But I think this is very interesting what he's saying right here. And this is your Commerce Secretary right here, right? And I think it's very interesting what he's saying right here. I'm gonna spin it back.
Gross. Right with my wife. He's gross. The guy's gross. This was not, the deep nuance of Howard Lutnick. This guy's gross.
Right. So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
no, they participated.
Right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever. Blackmailed people. That's how we had money. So
what happened to those videos? Why is there now?
Hold on. Before we go to that, Howard Lutnick, your Commerce Secretary, Donald Trump's Commerce Secretary, just said that Jeffrey Epstein, one of Donald Trump's good friends, was the greatest blackmailer ever. That's how he got his money. And so, again, I just want to illustrate the criminality of all this, right? And I TikTok MAGA mongrels, you know what I'm saying? When I chop this shit down, we gonna go at it. But I'm giving y'all this your man right here. This the Commerce Secretary that y'all, this your man. This your man's. Let me play what your man's is talking about, bro. Just in case for the niggas in the cheap seats in the back. Let me play what your man's is talking about. This is your man's right here, bro. Commerce Secretary in charge of the minority businesses and getting them funding and this not having them disenfranchised and shit. This is what he talking about.
Did they see it and ignore it? Or
no, they participated.
Right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever. Blackmailed people. That's how we had money. So
what happened to those videos? Why is there now such a dearth of information when, Donald Trump's people are running the FBI and the DOJ?
I assume way back when they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence, which allowed him to have visits and be out of jail. I mean, he's a serial sex offender. How could he get 8 18 months and be able to go to his office during the day and have visitors and stuff.
Bro, this is really explosive reporting and uncovering of someone who had a relationship with Epstein, has been on the inside of this whole, cabal of whatever the fuck this is. And he's letting you know this is the Commerce Secretary. This guy has a sworn in position in the government right now. You call the Commerce Secretary office, one of his motherfucking assistants is gonna pick up the phone and say, "Thank you for calling Howard Lutnick's office. How can I help you?" Unfucking believable, bro.
Had money. So
what happened to those videos? Why is there now such a dearth of information when, Donald Trump's people are running the FBI and the DOJ?
I assume way back when they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence.
He said he saw them trade the video. I want to be very clear about this. He said this is his account of what he saw.
Those videos, why is there now such a dearth of information when, Donald Trump's people are running the FBI and the DOJ?
I assume way back when they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. He said he assumes. Okay, let me spin it back. I want to be
of information when, Donald Trump's people are running the FBI and the DOJ.
I assume way back when they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence, which allowed him to have visits and be out of jail. I mean, he's a serial sex offender. How could he get 18 months and be able to go to his office during the day and have visitors and stuff? It must have been a trade. So my assumption, I have no knowledge.
Okay.
My assumption is there was a trade for the videos because there were people on those videos.
And have you talked to Donald Trump about this and shared your theory?
No, I mean, he knows the story.
Right.
But my story, that, I was the one and done with the guy. He knows that story, but that's it.
And here's what he said about being invited over.
Wow, that is explosive right there. That is explosive. That's your Commerce Secretary. Like, you can't make this shit up, man.
To his then neighbor's Epstein house, which he said he never hung out with Epstein ever again. And of course, we now know he's lying based on these emails. Here, let's play this clip right here.
He was your neighbor for 10 years. How well did you know him?
Oh,
so
wow. So hold on. We have another guy in the Trump administration that had a 10-year relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Howard Lutnick, this is your Commerce Secretary. 10-year relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump, allegedly 10-year plus relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. I think it's more than alleged. I think it's pretty factual at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. These are the people that are running the free world, man. These are the people that are in front of the Supreme Court arguing over the holidays that poor people shouldn't receive benefits. These sick bastards right here. Yeah. TikTok MAGA mongrels, man. What y'all gotta say, bruh? Like, come on. What do y'all have to say about this, bruh? Like, you know why I do this? Hey, TikTok MAGA mongrels. You know why I do this? You know why the fuck I do this, bruh?
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
We are in number 11 and he lives in number 9.
Right.
So we renovate, we buy our house, and our house is pigeons and mice.
Right.
Okay. It was derelict.
Right.
So we rebuild our house. We move in 2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 08, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So knock on the door. His assistant on like a Saturday says, "Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee." So my wife and I go next door. We walk 7 steps,
yes,
right, to the next house for coffee. We share a wall,
right.
So it's New York City. So he invites us in. We have coffee in this, and he says, "Do you want a tour?" We said, "Great,
interesting."
He's got really big
Talking about
house.
Jeffrey
Every
Epstein.
room you went into?
He's got, well, I'll tell you. So his house is like super big, really wide. And so he gives me a tour in the living room, big living room. And then across from it is double doors. I assume it's the dining
Bruh, I got so much stuff I
dining
want
room.
to say.
Yeah.
And
It's
he
just
opens the
like
door.
it's ridiculous, bro. Like he's detailing the tour that he got of Jeffrey Epstein's house, hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, neighbors with Jeffrey Epstein, and he's your commerce secretary. It's wild.
And there's a massage table in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, "Massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage?" And he says, "Every day." And then he gets weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, "And the right kind of massage."
Ooh.
Now my wife
that's
is
sick.
standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, "I'm sorry, we have to go." And we left. And
How many of y'all believe that, bro? Put it in my comments, man. How many of y'all believe that after this encounter with Jeffrey Epstein, that him and his wife and they just left? How many of y'all believe that? Yeah, man. A lot of this shit is just it's hard to wrap your mind around. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to make as much light of it respectfully as I can, man. But this is some serious shit, man. This is your current commerce secretary. He's making decisions about fucking commerce right now. Minority businesses, telecommunications, patents, international trade, all under his purview. All under his responsibilities. For you illiterate motherfuckers, I don't know what a purview is. But either way, why? How? And so this is why I go so hard about what I stand on these platforms, how I see the game. Because as you can see, there's a lot more faces to this puzzle that need to be, have their public explanation tour and possible, legal explanation tour. But yet, they sitting in government, man. Got a guy with, at one point, 90 plus felonies. I think they played it down to about 30 plus felonies. Controlling the world at this point, basically. And again, I have a son, man. Like I don't want my son to ever look up to any type of characteristics that come out of this White House, the leader of it, or anybody associated with that. Because, bullying, spin, deception, lying, as you can see, he's hanging out with, one of the best blackmailer that ever blackmailed, according to Howard Lutnick. Epstein he blackmailed his way to success. And so when you hear people address this administration as like the crime family and things like that, I mean, y'all tell me what it looks like, man. Here, I'm gonna drop this link, man, because I want to hear what the people talking about, bro. Y'all listening to me. This is the remix with Cali Dry. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with your boy. You know what I'm saying? But shit, I want to hear from y'all too, man. Let me know. I mean, I'll go to the link right there. If anybody want to come up, chop it up about these politics, you know what I mean? Let me know, man. But this is how I see the game. This is how I think about the game. This is when you have an understanding of the game, you know how to play the game. You know what to look out for. When you hear things, it just triggers you. It's like a red flag. Like we've heard multiple accounts of these crimes not being investigated to the fullest extent. You got to ask yourself why. Who paid who influenced who made the phone call? You got Howard Lutnick, a 10-year relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. That's the man on the screen right here. And he's your current Commerce Secretary. So I want to put faces to some of this shit. You know, when you look at the news, or if you're just a casual news goer, you probably won't recognize some of these faces, man. So that's why I'm freeze framing. You know what I mean? That's why I do what I do, because I want to get those points known. Because again, it's bigger than just Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump's the main player and he's the main focus because he's the president. But true accountability for this spans in a lot of different directions, man.
In the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
And then finally, you have Epstein with a smiling emoji, asks former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak to clarify that he does not work for the Mossad in a meeting with a senior Qatari investment official, and then does a smiling emoji. Can you please tell them that I'm not Mossad? Very suspicious indeed. Oh, also, there appears to be a survivor who was very critical, or someone was very, very critical of the DOJ. Not sure if it was a survivor, someone who's very critical of how the DOJ has been handling things, and sent our reporting at the Midas Touch to the DOJ to criticize the DOJ about all of the stuff that they were hiding. There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million.
Yeah, let's go. Shit, hit subscribe on my shit. This is the remix with Cali Dre. Get me to 600 in this bitch. I just started this channel, man. I appreciate everybody that's been rocking. You know what I mean? Share the video, share the lives. Man, I'm on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. You know what I mean? Shit, if it's somewhere you want me to be and I ain't over there, shit, tap in with me and I'll get over there. You feel me? Because I'm just trying to connect with the people, man. Get the people good information. That link is in the chat as well if anybody wants to come up here, man. Is there anything else I wanted to show y'all, man? Let me see. Get the likes up, man. Get the hypes up for me for sure. I'll probably get back to breaking down some new stuff. It's some new stuff that I wanted to show y'all, but I felt like this is really important, man, and this is really explosive, information, man. Let's see what we got here. Let's see the secret. Is there anything else? I think we got a pretty good breakdown, man, of what we looking at as far as where we currently are, what some of the allegations are, who are some of the players that are involved, and it's Democratic names, it's Republican leaning names, it's our Jay-Z's name. Matter of fact, I heard Jay-Z and a couple other rappers was involved in this shit. So I'll probably do another live on that, man. I just want to go strictly politics today, man, because again, this is important, man. These are people that, that are in positions of power, man. And, when we like, and this is all readily information. And so when people say like, how America is viewed across the world, it's just like, how can you view us any other way than a bunch of pedophile protectors? Because that's kind of what's going on, is what it seems like to me. Y'all let me know in the comments though, man. Cali, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Cali Dre on hey, please read the bottom of the screen. Please feel free to hate on me, man, because shit, hey, that's what this whole shit's about, man. But you better come with some facts though. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna always try to bring the best facts that I could bring to the table, and you bring your facts, and let's try to come to some understanding, man. That's what I'm all about on this shit. You know what I mean? I think it's probably one more video I'm gonna show. Let me see what this look like. I mean, well, we got a pretty good understanding of what's going on, man. The link is in the chat as well, man. If anybody wants to come up, chop it up about some politics. Let's go back to Mick Jagger. See what else he talking about, man. The young Mick Jagger, right? Oh, for some reason, bro, look like Mick to me, bro. So we calling him Mick over here. You feel me? It's the remix with Cali Dre, man. Let's go.
Connections continue to come out. Donald Trump is still withholding 3 million of the 6 million Epstein documents. Yet the information published today is more damning than anything we have ever seen. And we have seen a lot. But it is not just Donald Trump. It is everyone close to him, including his wife, who is unfortunately for Melania going to have her big movie flop overshadowed by her connection to Epstein and her connection to Maxwell, which is once again another nail in the coffin of Donald Trump's cover-up. But
Let me know in the comments. Anybody going to go see Melania's movie? You know what I mean? Is anybody going to check out that Melania Trump movie? I'm from all the indications I'm getting, man. It ain't doing too well at the box office, man. But let's check in with young Mick Jagger, man, and see what he's talking about, man. It's the remix with Cali Dre, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to this politics, man.
I think it is only fair for us to start with the way that Donald Trump has tried and almost succeeded in hiding his Maxwell connections and the broader understanding of this cabal by giving his best friend in Ghislaine the perfect little prison setup. This reporting came out a few weeks ago, but I think it is more pertinent than ever when we're talking about Melania's connection to Ghislaine Maxwell, Donald Trump's connection to Ghislaine Maxwell, and what is coming out today. It's the reporting I want to start with because we need a refreshing context on why this is just so shocking.
Has obtained dozens of personal emails that Maxwell has sent over the last several months after being switched to a minimum security prison in Texas. The tone of which appears to be cheerful, free of regret or remorse. She wrote about the move and said, quote, the food.
Let me spin that back. This is Ghislaine Maxwell. This is Jeffrey Epstein's, what it said, girlfriend. I thought we just looked at the unalive board, you know what I mean? And it had the strings and it had the tentacles. Jeffrey Epstein was in the center. Ghislaine Maxwell was to his left. And it said girlfriend, right? So if this was Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, why has she been receiving special privileges in a new jail that they moved her to from her previous jail, which was a more, had a higher security level? That's interesting.
Dozens of personal emails that Maxwell has sent over the last several months after being switched to a minimum security prison in Texas. The tone of which appears to be cheerful, free of regret or remorse. She wrote about the move and said, quote, the food is legions better. The place is clean, the staff responsive and polite. It was safer, too, because, quote, you were not allowed to steal, beat people up, and attack them with homemade weapons. Ghislaine Maxwell says that she felt she was finally on the right side of, quote, Alice in Wonderland's looking glass, noting, I am much happier. My source.
Oh, hold on. This is Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, who was responsible for luring a lot of these young girls to Epstein Island and to, a lot of these other powerful players. But yet, if you read this statement, it said the food is legions better, the place is clean, the staff is responsive and polite. It was safer too, because you're not allowed to still beat people up and attack them with homemade weapons. She felt like she was on the right side of some Alice in Wonderland fantasy that she got going on in her head. But she says she's much happier now. Isn't the point of going to prison for these type of crimes to have your life be a little bit more miserable and have you to deal with the things that, common criminals deal with when they go to jail, right? And so again, I just see the hypocrisy in all this bullshit. And that's why I try to bring this shit to y'all, man.
Of course, is the Atlantic staff writer who obtained these emails, Isaac Stanley Becker. And thank you for being here. What have you learned in these emails? I mean, you literally have the emails themselves.
I have them here right in front of me. Caitlin, I was so curious to get my hands on these emails because there's been so much attention on Epstein and the Epstein files and the existence or non-existence of this client list. But Jeffrey Epstein is dead, and Ghislaine Maxwell, the person who's been convicted of crimes associated with his conduct, is alive. And as you said, she's being held at this minimum security prison in Texas. And she's been emailing members of her family, members of her legal team. And so we're able to listen to her own words about what her situation is like, what's on her mind, and what her expectations and hopes are for the future. And as you said, I was somewhat surprised that the tone of these emails, I was expecting some type of sadness, if not
All right, man,
for
here,
the
let's get-
victim,
Yeah, you doing
mentioned
all
part of
commentary. Let me
the prison.
give a little bit
So
for
what one defense attorney said to me is there's two possible explanations. One is that this warden has some sort of special.
Oh, no,
healing-
actually, hold up. This is
the
kind of
rather
important. You go
unusual
back.
services that the warden of this prison is providing to her, ensuring special access for her visitors in a unique part of the prison, and also playing this very odd kind of go-between role for her between her and members of her legal team, emailing and scanning documents. And I talked to defense attorneys in the area, seasoned defense attorneys, including some who've represented clients who've been held in this facility. And they said that this is just so outside of the norm, that there's about 650 women being held at this facility. The warden is just not involved in individual cases like this. So what one defense attorney said to me is there's two possible explanations. One,
why is the warden doing special errands and favors for Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell? Why was she moved from a max security prison to a minimum security prison in the first place? So again, I hope you guys can see the hypocrisy and the deliberate attempts to cover up and, hide what's been going on with Jeffrey Epstein and this administration.
is that this warden has some sort of special, feelings or loyalty toward Ghislaine Maxwell, which seems rather unlikely. I mean, this random warden at this random facility in Texas, or that she's received some sort of instructions from higher ups.
So Trump thought he could, and he did for a while, keep Ghislaine Maxwell silent, that nothing more would come out, that she would go to her nice cushy prison and that would be it. And for a while it was, until earlier this week, Ghislaine Maxwell released some court documents that outlined 25 payoffs to her and Epstein from powerful individuals and three more potential co-conspirators. Ghislaine Maxwell is maybe not that happy with her current arrangement, given that she hasn't received the pardon that she so desperately desires. And maybe things will get worse as information comes out about her and Melania that is only more damning the connection between these two couples. Melania's love email to Ghislaine Maxwell revealed in Epstein files. An email exchange between the First Lady and Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice in 2002 was in.
Melania Trump is now also involved in this. She was also exchanging emails with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. So it's very interesting.
Included in the latest document dump. A gushing email exchange between First Lady Melania Trump and Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell was included in today's Epstein files dump. In the first message from 2002, Melania praised a New York Magazine article about Epstein and complimented the socialite now serving 20 years in prison for sex trafficking. Dear G, how are you? It starts. Nice story about GJE in New York Mag. You look great in the picture. At the time, the First Lady was still Melania, of course, not named Trump, but they were just dating. The pair were photographed with Epstein and Maxwell around the time, but the email appears to be first written communication between Melania and Maxwell in the files. I know you are very busy flying all over the world, she continued in her email. How is Palm Beach? I can't wait to go down. Give me a call when you are back in New York. Have a great time. She signed it, Love, Melania. In another file released on Friday, Maxwell responded to Melania's email, addressing her as a sweet pea. Maxwell indicated that she would try to call her in response. Actually, plans changed again. I am now on my way back to New York. I leave again on Friday, so I still do not think I have time to see you, sadly. I will try and call, though, Maxwell wrote. Keep well. The Daily.
So it looks like Melania and Ghislaine Maxwell had a very close relationship. which is weird, but interesting at the same time. I mean, if all these things are going on around Epstein and her husband Trump seemed to be around, you know, a good portion of it, but yet she also had a good relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell. Why? Like, ladies in the comments, y'all let me know. I mean, in the chat, let me know in the comments, what reason would Melania Trump have to have any type of relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell if Ghislaine Maxwell has been convicted of the crimes that she's been convicted of on the part of Jeffrey Epstein? So like, this shit is just, it's all a weird ass, like, I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Shit.
Beast reached out to both the White House and the First Lady's office for comment. The email exchange was among the more than 3 million additional pages of documents released by the Justice Department as required by law under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The document dump on Friday came 6 weeks after the deadline for the Justice Department to release all the files on the convicted sex offender. The Trump administration is accused of violating the law because it did, and failing to meet multiple deadlines because they have. The latest document dump includes more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images, according to the DOJ. While the latest release of documents includes emails between the current First Lady and Maxwell, files also include multiple emails that mention Melania. Another email included in the document dump came from a redacted name to Epstein the day after the 2016 election. It starts with a comment on the sender being surprised by the election's outcome and mentions Melania in a noticeable line. I remember flying back with Donald on his plane the first week.
Yeah, this is Melania Trump email exchange with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. It's shocking and explosive. Shocking and explosive reporting.
Weekend I went to V=sit sick. You in Florida, visit you in Florida, was the weekend he met Melania, and he kept on coming out of the bedroom saying, "Wow, what a hot piece of ass, just gross." So the connection between Maxwell and Epstein and Melania and Trump is not one that can be obviously played off, as Donald Trump likes it to be, as, oh, well, we just bumped into them at dinner, you know, we were just in the same place at the same time. That is the explanation that they have offered up. And I continue to come back to the fact that it is so important that we dismiss that lie, because it is what they have used to try to minimize this as something not only to just move on from, but doesn't need further investigation, right? Like, oh, you shouldn't be paying attention to this at all, but why would we investigate?
Right,
And
right, exactly. And it's a whole lot of that, minimizing. Why should we investigate? Smoke, mirror, spin, tap dancing, moonwalking, shucking, jiving. It's a whole lot of names for it, but it all mean the same shit, man. Get the likes up.
I think the Ghislaine of it all is the most glaring, flashing right, lower light, screaming at you, red, blah, blah. Like, we need to look at it because they get so scared when we ask questions. Like this moment between Senator Adam Schiff and Kash Patel when asked about Maxwell's prison transfer.
You clearly won't tell us the cabinet members associated with Mr. Epstein. Let me ask you one last question. And that is, right after she gives this testimony in front of an FBI agent, among others, she's transferred to a minimum security prison not suitable for a sex offender like herself.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. And so Congress, the Democratic Congress definitely isn't happy with that. But it still happened. So again, why? How? These are the questions we got to get answers to, man.
Who made that decision?
Yeah, I think he's trying to figure it out right now.
The Bureau of Prisons.
The Bureau of Decisions made it in
prisons.
The Bureau of Prisons decided on their own, without any consultation with Blanche or anyone else, that they were going to suddenly, after this interview, completely unrelated to this interview, completely unrelated to anything she said, move her to a prison not suitable for a sex offender. You want the American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No, I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're
inmates.
not in the weeds?
This is Kash Patel. I think he's head of what? One of them agencies, man. One of them 3-letter agencies. You know what I'm saying? Put in the comments what he running. But he's not in the loop and he's not in the weeds. Well, then why the fuck are you sitting at this table, bruh? Get us somebody that's in the loop and in the weeds. The smoke, the mirrors, the spin, the tap dancing, moonwalking, shucking, jiving, you know what I'm saying, backslide, whatever the fuck you want to call it, bruh. It's a whole lot of games being played. They send the one guy who don't know shit up to Congress to swear an oath about what's going on. I'm just trying to do the math for y'all so y'all could do it for yourself, man.
am doing is protecting this country, historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, okay, so now we see his role. Now we have a clearer picture of what his role is. Distraction, screaming, loud, red meat for the TikTok MAGA mongrels. You know what I mean? Y'all know why I do this shit? Let me tell y'all, bro. Do y'all know why I do this? TikTok MAGA mongrels. Y'all know why I do this shit, bro? Y'all know why I do this shit?
Kick it! You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's why.
Surprised.
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of California. We are bringing historic reform. Point of order. But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did.
Yeah. Okay. He said they're doing historic reform. So wordplay is my shit, man. You know, listen, I pretty good at writing, man. You know, wrote a lot of songs, poetry, you know, all kind of shit, man. But wordplay is my shit. So when he says they're doing some interesting things in California, I actually want to cover one of the things that they're doing in California in just a minute. But let me spin back on this.
And put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of California. We are bringing historic reform. Point of order. But all you care about is a child sex
Okay, historic reform he said he's doing in California, man. This is the remix with Cali Dre. We're gonna check out a little bit more of this, and I want to check out. I want to, you know, show you guys what I've seen that they're doing in California.
Maxwell is the final piece in all of this. That is what they are most worried about. Information from her is what terrifies them more than anything. That is why they are so scared, because Donald Trump wants to minimize this. And Ghislaine, being someone who is around Epstein, a right-hand woman, is a much better story than her leading and being an organizer of a broader cabal that included so many high profile and high net worth and high status individuals. That is not what they want. And Melania's connection to Ghislaine Maxwell, that back and forth, of which I'm sure many more will come out, makes it more difficult for them to deny that. And like I said at the beginning of this video, really sucks for Melania, because this might overshadow her big movie, which is because we need.
How many of y'all going to see that Melania movie, man? Let me know in the comments. Any of y'all going to see that Melania Trump movie? I didn't even know she had a movie coming out, bro. You know, yeah.
Some joy today, not doing too well. And the numbers back that up.
Historical critics don't really like Melania Trump either. I mean, just take a look at the First Lady rankings. The bottom three, dead last, Melania Trump. When you're next to Jane Pierce and Margaret Taylor, those are not particularly good, although.
Hey, this guy, listen, he does some amazing things with the statistics and explaining them and breaking them down. It's a big war on news in this country, but you know, I take in and consume all of it, and I make my decision. You know what I mean? Independent, corporate, global. I'm smart enough to, you know, figure out what the truth is. But I like this guy and how he presents his statistics. Melania Trump's movie, historian first lady rankings, and she's at the bottom.
We were able to get a colored photo of Melania Trump.
I have nothing bad to say about either Margaret Pierce or Jane.
Apparently,
Yeah,
you agree with the
I think we know where that's going. So look, I just want to cover one more thing, man. I want to hit on something that Cash Patel said, because this was actually something I was going to cover in a previous show, but I didn't. I actually ran out of time. You know what I'm saying? Because man, I find so many interesting things that I want to bring to the people, but sometimes, you know, I don't want it to like go over people's heads either. You know what I'm saying? I want to still keep it interesting, keep it fresh, keep it hot. You know what I mean? Because again, that's hot as politics could be. Man, I try to have fun with this shit and make it easier to digest. You know what I mean? That's how I learned a lot of the politics that I learned, is just trying to make it, you know, relatable to real life and real characters and shit, and just staying in tune. But you got to stay tapped in with it, man, to really understand what's going on. You know what I mean? You can't get information from somebody else who got it from somebody else who got it from somebody else, man, because they're gonna have you, you know what I mean, in a spam cycle. But let's look at, oh, speaking of this, okay, let's look at this real quick. So we got a report that Melania's film poster has been vandalized at bus stops in Los Angeles, man. Let's check in with this and see what's going on with that. Since we, you know, just happen to be on that topic of Melania Trump's movie that's coming out, man, let's figure out what the hell's going on out here.
Rerouted several buses carrying ads for the new Melania Trump documentary after some of the posters were vandalized at city-owned bus stops. Our McCullough Medina live tonight at one of those stops along Venice Boulevard. And you just heard from Metro, Mac?
Yeah, we heard from Metro a short time ago. This is, as you mentioned, Venice Boulevard. We're actually in Culver City. Take a look behind me. This is one of the posters that was hit. You can see vandals drew a mustache on the First Lady and the word deport up top there. Metro says it decided to reroute some buses to prevent them from being vandalized.
Whoa! They oh no. Hey, listen, it's been going down, man. It's so much news going on. I don't even got time to cover it all, man. But it's been protests going on in California, all over the country, man. But in Los Angeles, they most definitely are out there in them streets, man. And so, you know, to see this deport Melania Trump, you know, somebody vandalized, it says vandals, you know, they vandalized her film poster. So yeah, I mean, I guess you see how people kind of feel about the content that
But supporters of the First Lady who are attending the LA premiere tonight say the move is politically motivated.
Okay.
Yeah, I was disgusted to see that there are numerous people clearly throughout the city that decided to vandalize and deface bus shelter advertisements for the upcoming Melania movie that's premiering today.
Dr. Human Amani says seeing this in his city on the night of the LA premiere is unnerving. So far, the vandalism appears to be targeting only city-owned bus stops.
Interesting. So this looks like something that's targeted. But Dr. My brother, I don't know why you surprised. You must not be watching the news, man. You know what I'm saying? You're not tapped in as you claim to be. If you surprised by this, you ain't been watching what's going on, man. You definitely ain't been watching the remix with Cali Dre. And that's a problem, man. So I need you to get more tapped in, man. But that wasn't even the damn story I was looking for, man. It's actually I just came across that. This other one, bro, is actually what the Trump administration is doing out here in Los Angeles, man. So give me a second to find this, man. This the remix with Cali Dre, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy, man. Get the likes up, subscribe to the channels, man. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. You know what I mean? If it's somewhere you want me to be and I ain't over there, man, tap in with me, man. I'm gonna jump over there. You know what I mean? Let me see. Where is this video? Nah, that's not it. Get the likes up, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. What is the national? Is that it? Trump. Yeah, okay. This is it right here. This is it right
now
here.
we have breaking.
So look, it says Trump declares a national emergency over. Actually, oh no, that's not even it. Damn it. Look, I fucked up the remix, bro. Hold on. That's not even fucking it, bro. God damn it. Hey, listen. This shit harder than it look, man. Get the likes up. Let me see. Oh, here we go. This is it right here.
A move to
This
seize
is it right here.
control
Okay,
of the
so Trump issues executive order assuming control of Los Angeles wildfire rebuilding efforts. So, as you guys know, California went through some wildfires, I think a couple years back, and I guess the state had been handling it up to this point, with probably help from FEMA and other federal agencies as well. But it says Trump issues executive order assuming control of the Los Angeles wildfire budget. I mean, wildfire rebuilding efforts. I'm tripping. And so that's interesting to me because of all the protests that's going on in California and LA, but also this is one of the first cities that, the whole ICE and what is it? The troops were like touching down in, you know what I mean? So I just think it's interesting that they would issue an executive order to try to assume control of the wildfire rebuilding efforts. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
A move to seize control of the wildfire rebuilding efforts here in Southern California. President Trump has signed an executive order the White House says aims to speed up reconstruction in the Palisades and Eaton Canyon areas. Our Jasmine Veal is live in Altadena. And Jasmine, the order is facing backlash from California's governor and local leaders.
Yeah, Rudabeh, that's right. I mean, these local leaders, they point to the progress that has been made. For example, right here on this street, you see homes that are under construction, but that is not the case for the lot directly behind me where will have to live because they have not been allowed to start rebuilding. They are still paying the mortgage on a burned lot. And she says until the federal order turns into shovels in the ground, nothing changes. Ada Hernandez is packing up the Pasadena Airbnb she's been living in with her family for months.
I've been moving for the last 5 days.
It's not because their home in Altadena is ready. It's because she's out of options. Her house burned to the ground in the January wildfires. Ada, her husband, and their 2 children are now moving into this RV, parked on what's left of their property. Ada says the rebuilding process has been bogged down by delays while the bills keep coming.
We've had to.
Right. So it looks to me like this administration is putting red tape in front of wildfire homeowners trying to rebuild. And if you break that down, that's a political move. Those are voters. And those are people that probably voted the other way. And so, it looks real targeted. I'd be interested to see how many other rebuilding efforts that he's issued an executive order on.
Redraw our plans like 5 times. 5 to 7 times. I don't even know exactly the number.
That frustration now at the center of a new push from President Donald Trump. The president announcing he signed an executive order Friday aimed at cutting through what the White House calls obstructive permitting requirements. Among its directives, the order calls on FEMA and the Small Business Administration to find ways to preempt state and local procedural permitting requirements and expedite waivers, permits, and approvals that may be required from the federal government. But Joy Chen, executive director of the Eaton Fire Survivors Network, says permitting is not the primary concern for people trying to rebuild.
7 out of 10 Eaton and Palisades fire survivors are still displaced. We are right now on the cusp of a major homelessness crisis.
Right. So 7 out of 10 of these homeowners are still displaced. And so 70% of the rebuild, the people that are trying to rebuild their homes after the fire are facing homelessness. And the federal government is putting more red tape in front of them by issuing an executive order to take control of the wildfire rebuilding effort.
People who are going homeless are not rebuilding. We need help on the money front.
Governor Gavin Newsom was quick to react.
She came out with it. Listen, I like that. I may have to clip that. I like that. You know what I mean? She came right with it. You know what I'm saying? Listen. I'm gonna let y'all hear from her. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let y'all hear directly from her.
Governor Gavin Newsom,
you know what I mean? I'm gonna let y'all hear it
in part,
directly from her.
Rebuilding. We need help on the money front.
Governor Gavin Newsom,
we need help on the money front. Support the channel, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit the Cash App. Fall in love with that motherfucker. Subscribe, comment, get the likes up, all that, man. This the remix with Cali Dre.
Saying in part, an executive order to rebuild Mars would do just as useful, and went on to say, Mr. President, please actually help us. We are begging you. Release the federal disaster aid you're withholding. And LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger, whose district includes Altadena, says she welcomes any effort to speed up the rebuilding, writing in part, I'm hopeful that the federal government will collaborate with our county to implement a mass housing and sheltering program and offer long-term disaster aid.
So it sounds like the federal government isn't currently working with the Supervisor Catherine Barger of the LA County to get this rebuilt. Why? Why? If you're gonna issue an executive order assuming control of the rebuild efforts, why wouldn't you be working with the local officials who are trying to rebuild? I'm just trying to do the math for y'all, man, so y'all could do it for yourself, man. This the remix with Cali Dre.
Aid.
You can't afford this back and forth. Like this, I'll make it easier for you and I'll try to expedite the process. It has not happened with my family and I.
Yeah, back here live. According to LA County, it takes about 94 days right now to issue a permit for a new home in the unincorporated areas of the county. It takes a few weeks longer in the Palisades, and local leaders say, and they point out, that this is much quicker than before the fires. Live here in Altadena, Jasmine Veal, CBS LA.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, man. So I thought that was pretty interesting, man. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to tap in with, man. Let me get back to the big screen here. Hey, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me on this politics shit, man. I'm gonna get back to some news pretty soon, but you know, I want to make sure that we highlight what's going on in the moment, what's going on with these Epstein files, what's going on in Minnesota, what's going on Pennsylvania Avenue. You know what I'm saying? Because it all matters, man. You know what I'm saying? You might not think it count, but it do matter. And so, you know, that's why I decided to create this platform. I hope y'all, you know, learn something. I hope that y'all continue to show up and support, man. And yeah, I mean, let me know what y'all think in the comments, man, and tap in with me. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything else I wanted to show? Nah, I think I'm good, man. You know what I mean? Y'all get the gist of this shit. Y'all smart. Piece this shit together, man. You know, the play's being ran. Are you in on the play, or are you being left in the dark? You know what I'm saying? That's the main question. Is the American people in on the play? And if it's a play going and we all in on it, cool. Like shit. I me casa es su casa. I ain't gonna say shit if y'all say. But if we are the play, if you running a play on my ass so you can run your play, I have a problem with that, man. And so that's why I do this. But yeah, I'm getting ready to end this motherfucker, man. I'm hungry as fuck. I'm gonna go play some Xbox, kick back, figure out whatever else is going on. And I'm gonna bring it to y'all, man. That's how we do it over here. You know what I mean? But before I go, I'm gonna let OG do his 1-2. Cause I ain't even let OG do his 1-2 in the beginning. I was so hyped up about this Epstein shit, trying to get this to the people. I do this shit for y'all, man. I do this shit for you. You know what I mean? So I was trying to get that shit going, you know what I mean? And yeah, I ain't even let OG do his 1-2, man. So I gotta let OG do his 1-2 before I get up out of here. Damn, bro. Yeah, stop this shit. All right. It's OG. You know what he on. You know he ain't playing no games. And we ain't playing no games. This is a remix with Cali Dre, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking. Tap in with me. I'm gonna tap in with y'all, man. Let's go.
You heard it from me. That's right. I hope you can see through those thick-ass glasses that you fucked up. You stand there and sanction this bullshit, and they kill a woman. They're ruining businesses that have been here for generations. They're fucking up this community. You can go home safe, but no, you're here to terrorize this city. A bunch of bitches if I've ever seen a bunch. And I'm telling you to your face. And if you don't like it, fuck you.